On today's episode of Let's Talk FGO, we're going to talk to you about why arcade sucks and you should vandalize them. Don't actually do that. Arcades are a dying breed.
They're endangered species.
Maybe you should possibly riot. We'll let you know. Ours is the opinion that matters on this. Also, I do have a lovely pre-game lined up for Voice and Letter Collection Valentines 2021. Coming at you. Fast, loose, and only a page. Thank God. So, I am one of your hosts, Omega. Won't you be my Valentine? And with me, as always, I have my favoritist Heian period scholar, Lucky.
Did you literally come up with that because I literally did a fast read of my fucking Wanted?
Yes, I did in fact do that. And I think you didn't say fuck until after 30 seconds, too. Good job.
Perfect. Good job, Lucky.
Thumbs up.
Anyway, I hope everyone's enjoying Fate Grand Orders, aka things are about to get a little noisy around here. And while we here at City Omega like to bring you the latest in FGO-related news and memes, we will be talking about current and future events for both the JP and EA version of the game, so anyone not wanting spoilers should cry for coup.
Yeah, we'll explain that one later if you somehow haven't heard it. I mean, to be fair, this is a discussion that we did have about whether Arcade realizes or cares, the Arcade branch. Because I do want to point out, Arcade is a separate team that is actually known. I think it was probably a couple years ago at this point, but at some point they did actually explicitly talk about how they reorganized. NA is technically, or FGO Worldwide is technically a separate team from like FGO JP Core is separate from Arcade, etc.
Yeah.
So they have multiple teams working on multiple projects. Thank God. So Arcade is not actually stealing work from your FGO. Just a little bit. Just a little bit of inspiration. But yeah, let's go ahead and remind everybody that this episode is brought to you by our patrons like Adam Harp, Haga Comics, Architect 10, Plex G, Carlos, Qua, Ferris, Jeremy Vasquez, Jonathan Sandoval, Kylie Denton, Legendary Boss Under, Liam Caster, Regent Raptor, Rogue Robin, Shawnee P, Some Guy Named Bob, Sodason Over 2 for 723, and Zach Reed. If you like what we do, want to see more consistent on Patreon, you can access it early and lots of other goodies and really helps us out. Thank you for your support, everybody.
Thank you.
Alright, now I can close that tab. Because I didn't futz with my audio this week, so there will be no take two. Alright. So, let's see. The show has started for real, but we don't have much preamble, so we can probably power through our business real fast. We're playing our show structure a little bit by ear this week, because we don't know how long we're going to talk about some things. That's how we do. But, let's go ahead and flash to MASH with that pro tip.
Senpai, 起きてください.
That's right, everybody. It's time for a Wake the Fuck Up Senpai regular segment for pro tips.
Tips.
I have a pretty simple one, because they've announced it already. Hey, February exchange ticket will be pages, bones, and gunpowder. Enjoy it. I will probably actually be picking up pages, because I'm not immediately hurting for bones, but I am down to like 40 pages. I buffed some skills recently. Anyway. This is... The anyway / Tonikaku thing is approaching mimetic levels.
Like... I don't know, we actually had a little bit of talk about this, about Japanese language and whatnot. I don't know why, but Tonikaku just sounds so easy to roll off the tongue along with, just saying anyways. I don't know why. It's just because I watch so much goddamn anime, that I'm just like, so Tonikaku. It's not the same as saying Toriaizu. This is another discussion we actually had about the difference between Tonikaku and Toriaizu. And once again, it highlights the fact that people with better vocabularies are usually better at explaining things instead of Lucky, who just goes bloom, blam, bloom at things. Oh.
But that's our pro tip.
Yep.
So, did you finish your master missions? That's right, there's no records on the throne or not all the world's evil. Why would
None.
Why? Why would there? Nothing has happened for us. For you guys, it's been the most important week of your life, getting your first Chloe. But for us, it's Friday. But we do have some master missions to check up. I'm gonna need you to complete your master missions to perform 30 FP summons, defeat 15 enemies with the Heaven attribute, defeat 15 enemies with the Earth attribute, acquire 3 gems or statues of any kind, and complete 5 quests and complete 10 quests, aka do the event! But also don't forget to do FP summons, I guess. Yeah, so pretty straightforward this week. I'm sure people love that. It's great. This is another one of those times when I scroll up into my own master missions to double check them for the show, and I realize that the only thing left is to do 30 FP summons. I'm like, okay, I'm done. I accomplished all the rest of them without even reading what they were. Yeah, that's right, kids. Most of the time, I don't read what master missions are until today.
No, that's That's lucky. That's lucky.
I have to write them down, so I usually make sure to read them from the source, because occasionally the internet is wrong. And, I mean, it's on my heckin' phone, but yeah.
So,
Okay.
Lucky already forgot what he was going to do for the fucking thumbnail. Good job, Lucky. Good thought.
I mean, to be fair, you did have dinner in between then. It was a fast dinner, but you did step away. Okay.
This is why I can't interrupt the flow.
And listen, the people already know what thumbnail you did.
Aren't they lucky? Wait, I'm lucky.
But are they also lucky? Who is lucky? Anyway, time for some news. We got some pretty simple couple of things here in actual real boy FGO news. First of all, in NA, we did get user survey 3. It happened. Okay. This was slightly annoying when it came out because they did not fix their tensing on the article, and they were like, and below you can find the link, and you couldn't find the link because the survey didn't open for like 2 more days. It was a little weird. I read it over twice, and I was like, is it just me, or is there no link in here? And then it's like, oh, no, if you actually pay attention to the numbers, it doesn't start for 2 more days, but it's not phrased that way. But you do the survey, you get 3 tickets sent to you. Apparently it wasn't just you. The survey was in fact buggy because there was a 2-hour maintenance to fix it. It was actually scheduled. It's just nobody ever checks the maintenance tab.
Hang on here. I gotta clip this because it makes me laugh. I'm gonna post it in general.
That's good. We need to turn that into a shirt or something. Can we draw see no lucky, speak no lucky, hear no lucky? Just do the fucking 3 monkeys pose with Tyranny Rabbit?
I probably could.
Future. Anyway.
Man,
yeah, so if you supposedly it was to do with the other text field. I didn't have any particular problems with this myself, but I know some people did. So yeah, they did a maintenance to fix some of this. And to be fair, I don't think I was the only one, but I do know some people did literally tell them to make the survey easier to do. I know it's possible. I don't know how exactly the programming works, but I know it is possible to make fields where you can only do 3 answers for it to fucking lock you out at 3. And unfortunately, FGO has a really bad habit of ping-ponging back and forth, where it'll be only answer 3, only answer 3, answer as many as you like, and only answer 3. It switches back and forth. So I had to do a couple tries, though one of them was because my phone ate it. It just tabbed out of Chrome. That's when I was like, fuck it, I'm going to go back in, make sure I manually type my fucking code with the commas again. Because I think somebody lied to me and said the commas weren't necessary, but no, I'm pretty sure the commas are needed. And just do everything over again, and paid very close attention. But it was a little annoying. I hope they can make that easier to use in future ones. And if there's a complaint well, JP still doesn't get automatic lockout, well, fucking, you're the same teams, basically. I know you're not literally the same team, but you're in the same building. You can fix that together and also make it better for Japan.
Also, people actually ask how is Lucky on a regular basis, but Lucky usually replies with meh, or I'm alive.
That is usually what happens, yes. But yeah, there was a survey, you got your stuff done, yay, That's all the news, That's all anything that happened.
Did I save the goddamn... Nope, there it is. Yay. Oh,
the other thing, which may or may not be in that thumbnail, is that in JP's, we are doing FGO Memories 3 release campaign. Because they've released the 3rd one of these FGO Memories art books, basically. Contains the CE arts. It's cool. I have my Memory 1, so whenever they decide to sell me Memories 2, I'll probably buy it.
Same.
Anyway, this campaign goes from the 27th to the 10th of February. I don't know if that's actually going to be how long before Valentine starts over there or what, but pretty big gap. Anyway, you complete a quest, get a commemorative CE. There is a banner. It has Artoria, Suna, and Euralion right up. Don't ask me. But it does rotate through certain limited CEs based on events that are covered in FGO Memories 3. So if you missed some CEs, hey, here's your chance. Pay attention to the daily read-up. Otherwise, I have absolutely no idea how they pick those 3 servants. A hat? Dartboard?
I think I like to go with dartboard.
So this isn't in our notes then, but there is a news thing that we alluded to earlier that technically happened to something which is named Fate Grand Order. Which is that, FGO Arcade is doing a new event, and for this event, they, released a new welfare, which is Satana, aka Tiny Coup. Tiny heckin' pupper coup.
Saber.
Yeah, as a saber, yes. So this prompted a lot of interesting things, a lot of comments, a lot of questions. a lot of calls to action. And I mean, this is the thing I mentioned earlier. If you are in North America and you are upset by Arcade's coverage, this is your like one time to actually literally let them know and know they look at it. And to be fair, we've had some back and forth. What I think is the quote unquote best suggestion, not that it's actually the best, but there is no best, is that I'm hoping for a home console port of Arcade, which will be playable. You could keep microtransactions, obviously, and it would be free to play base because you do have to pay for. I believe you have to pay for time for the actual FGO Arcade machine, and then you pay for rolls as well. But you could still keep your microtransactions in on the Sony PlayStation Network and Xbox and stuff. And, obviously you would have some slightly lower operating costs because you don't need to print out the frickin' cards. As cool as that is.
Actually, it's even lower operating costs than you think because you also have to consider there's arcade renting space and maintenance costs on the machine.
Oh, yeah, no, that's right. Somebody has to pay for maintenance on the machines. So, yeah, like, there's definitely some cost-benefit analysis there because, unfortunately, as much as, and we've had some discussion about how that may, like, obviously that's a fuck ton of work. Like, that's not something that can happen tomorrow, but the other quote-unquote alternative to actually getting arcade content over here would be putting it in fucking American arcades. That is an absolute non-starter, right? Like,
no.
That would not... The only thing you could do is you might get... There are import arcades. There are Japanese-style arcades in the US. They're very niche. What they would do is they would probably order a fucking Japanese FGO Arcade machine and be like, hey, it's FGO Arcade. It's still in Japanese, but you can play it. Like, I am not going to ask, like, Albert or anybody to devote time and energy into translating that version of FGO to go in, like, a very small number of arcades, right? It's just not how shit works over here. Double right now because of the ongoing Backstreet Boys reunion tour, but just in general, arcades weren't super popular beforehand. Would I love if I could go to a Dave & Buster's and hit up FGO Arcade? Yeah, but I probably won't, so. Yeah. That's what I said in my... Because I don't really have any other crazy extra comments to throw into FGO other than, hey guys, can I get some... You're the FGO team, can I get arcade in this country, please?
Good. I put arcade and can I get some translated art books and materials?
Yeah, materials books is another good one. But so this is a really interesting thing that comes up because I feel like we are now entering basically a year-long period of people being agitated at... vocally agitated at arcade.
Yes.
And so here's the weird thing. I want to preface this, right, guys? I want to preface this statement. I actually think that as a welfare, and he's clearly a welfare, Satana probably has other than obviously I do think female Merlin as, God, the monies, the wallets. But like, as a welfare, I do actually think Satana has some of the best chance of actually fucking showing up in FGO. Guys, remember Da Vinci Small? Do you guys not remember this? She debuted as, honestly, kind of a mediocre welfare in Japan. That was not for a standalone event. That was to celebrate Children's Day, I believe, specifically.
Yes.
Whereas, as far as I can tell with Ku, it's a standalone event, which, because they're not doing Prison Tower, I guess, because it's also Dantes' premiere. He's on a banner, so, they're doing something slightly different there. I don't actually know how story-heavy Arcade is. We have seen gameplay clips. And we've even had somebody did leave us that comment that you can apparently provide your own, like, capture card device to pull those clips. I haven't seen anything for, like, story content, so I don't know how, like, heavy that is for an event, or if it's much more just you do quests and stuff happens kind of thing, right? With maybe some ancillary dialogue. You never know. Yeah, like, for Sita and Female Merlin, that was slight edits to both the story content and also a story banner, but this appears to be a standalone limited-time event for a welfare. But, like I said, with Da Vinci, she still came to FGO. Yes, she did come as a limited SSR, but also, again, to be real, her kit was significantly upgraded, and now she's a really, really great unit in FGO as well. Several people have commented that if she had actually come over as a welfare, that she would probably not have really been worth it. Like, yeah. I think her skill kit made sense for arcade at the time. It would not work in modern FGO, so they upgraded her to an anniversary servant, and they put the extra effort to make her, worth that extra summoning effort. As we will see later this year. God, that's this year.
This year.
Time.
Now, from what Lucky seems to understand, it seems like most people's agita is not necessarily from any one particular servant. It's this recent chain of exclusive servants and costume that Arcade has been getting for, like, the past year.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to preface that. Like, I don't actually think, like, Ku is that worrisome, or Satana is that worrisome as a concept, because this is a thing we have a literal comparison for, where, like, yeah, he's not a seasonal unit. Yes, we have not yet ported over Suzuka or Helena, but we did port over Da Vinci, right? Like, that's fairly open-ended. But as Lucky said, this is kind of coming as a capstone, currently a capstone, to an ongoing thing of, like, hey, Arcade's getting a lot of really good shit that arguably not even all of the JP players can get access to, right?
Yeah.
Especially because Japan has been kind of on and off with lockdowns. Now, I'm fairly certain that the reason why Arcade is going ham at the moment is that their profit margins are probably awful right now. For reasons.
Like as I said, they have extra costs in the form of cabinet maintenance and operating costs. This isn't as simple as just keeping some servers alive. They probably have to keep servers alive and
because I'm sure it's got a server side connection because you can like log in and stuff. But they obviously have extra costs and they're trying to recoup because also, hey, guess what? Literally last year, there was that comment about, I believe it was Sega was getting out of the arcade business, right?
Yes.
Like, because of the Backstreet Boys reunion tour, even in Japan, where arcades are an institution, arcades are not doing so hot. So, yeah, I'm sure that's why Arcade is going so ham, and I feel certain that most of Arcade-style, like, content can or will eventually make its way to FGO when it is appropriate. On the one hand, almost because I don't mean this in like a hurtful way, but sometimes FGO just isn't that creative, right? They're just like, okay, all right, you guys are asking for Muramasa, well, we'll just Muramasa you right now, you know? Like, they have these obvious opportunities to just go like, hey, we'll do this, or we'll do that. We'll make a variant on that servant, you know? And there are times when, like, banner choices, it's like, yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. Why wouldn't you? You know? Heck, you know, Prototype Merlin is Prototype Merlin. They could easily, whenever they decide to do, like, a prototype event, they could bring her in then, or any other kind of things. It's really wild, right? Like, what they can do with a drop of a hat.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't think that most of the big things are permanent, because that's just, like, leaving, like, okay. Like, some people say, oh, they can keep Rama and Sita separate for the lore. That's dumb. That's dumb even for them. Why? Because they know better. They don't pay that close attention to their own fucking lore. We had a long conversation last night while maintenance was going on about the recently translated profile and lines for Taira no Kagekiyo, which included some of my favoriteest, best, most illustrative skill lines ever. That's sarcasm.
Genji must die.
The Genji must die. It had commas, so I'm sure it had dramatic pauses. Yeah, great skill description. So, yeah, obviously, FGO doesn't actually give that much of a flunk about their lore in that sense. The thing is that, like, I don't think there's that much of a risk that they won't eventually bring some of this content to FGO just because it's such easy money and, like, it's not even that hard. Costumes are a different question. And honestly, this is an interesting thing. Like, there are a lot of small costumes in Arcade. Mm-hmm. Like, I believe recently, Altera got, like, a different way to wear, like, she got, like, her casual hairstyle.
I think she's wearing her hair up, if I remember correctly. I think.
Yeah, that is how some of her more casual costumes go, I believe. Mm. But she got an alternate hairstyle.
HR got a casual costume.
Yeah. So, like, there are a lot of these hair swaps, accessories, etc. in Arcade. I'm reasonably certain that these things are done because they are not huge. Like, so, okay. I don't know a lot about 3D modeling, but, like, I have actually listened to 3D animators talk about this stuff, and some of them have been very open. Bless them, but I actually, like, own the first 3 volumes of Ruby on Blu-ray, and they have very extensive commentaries, where a lot of the animation staff are not shy about talking about their limitations and issues at times doing stuff, right? Because that show started very amateur, Monty and a couple of dudes in Rooster Teeth's literal back office, right? So I know a little bit about it. I do know about sprites, because I was that guy when I was a kid. I tried to make sprite comics, okay? So, redrawing sprite sheets and editing sprites can be a huge pain in the ass. Whereas I don't think FGO is like using common assets, right? Like Arcade's not using common shared assets. They have their own modeling and engine and stuff. But it can be very easy for you to go, I have made this 3D model of glasses. I will mount these to the face of the model of the 3D model I've already built, and then I just run it back through the renderer, and the rigging all syncs up, and it's the exact same model. There was literally no effort, right? Your computer is already rendering that 3D model. You just add the piece to it, it goes back, it does it. And depending on how these models are designed, it might be as easy as they literally swap heads or swap hair, right? Like, if they did some future-proofing, it's entirely possible that they can literally pop the hair off, slap the new hair on, run the thing again, and do it. Whereas, with a sprite, in case you guys don't know, if you're doing an animation sprite in that 2D style, if you want to, say, have that character do a new hairstyle, you have to edit literally every frame of animation, because every one of those is a sprite. You have to edit every frame to have your new hairstyle, and that is not something you can have a computer do automatically.
Devis Leader, I don't know where you're trying to at me with this hairstyle stuff. We've already moved on. I'm looking at hedgehogs getting anesthetized.
Yeah, it's her hair up with her veil off, basically. Because she does have normally a huge veil. The hedgehog thing is adorable, by the way. But yeah, so, there are, right, like, these... Oh, and then somebody did Death Stranding edit. That's adorable. It's adorabler. But right, like, so, there are reasons why, even with simple stuff, FGO isn't necessarily as, like, boom, bam, boom, with these new costumes, right?
Mm.
Cause, when you do that, you have to do two things. One, you gotta get your artist back in to redraw the story sprites, right? The art and any, external sprites those characters have when they show up, the 2D cutaways and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool, great. So you've just, for an example I'm gonna bring up later when talking about how people have received FGO costumes, think about, Li Shuwen's upcoming costume where he gets to take his glasses on and off. Cool, great. That means you just had to call Wada Arco back in to, like, literally draw this dude with his glasses on or glasses off, like, 3 times. Great. I'm sure that's not hard for her, but that still means that's a fucking call you had to make and, like...
A commish.
You had to, sign the deals, work out all the price stuff, go on. Etc. And then also, your fucking animators have to go in and draw those little tiny glasses on every single version of his sprite. Again, not hard, takes effort. You cannot do that. As far as I know, anyway, there's not a really good automated process to swap all those out, So, it's a little bit of a pain in the butt. That's why Arcade can get away with a lot of these minor costumes very rapidly. And I do think that, honestly, like, FGO is probably still open to some of these major costumes. Like, they could easily do that Carmilla costume for baseline Carmilla if they wanted to. Carmilla would probably have to be in an event or something, because that is what I'll say, is that the Arcade squad seems to play a lot more fast and loose with, like, who's in stuff, right? Like we literally said, Altera got a, like, it's not a full redraw, but it's still, you have to have that conversation to be like, hey, we need you to draw glasses on this guy, like, 3 times. Or draw him with glasses off, Like, there's extra steps involved, and then you gotta animate all those on. It's not, like, hard for a minimalist costume, but it's still work that involves extra steps than just, I've just rendered these glasses, let me stick this to his face, we're done. Let's get out of here.
Boom.
The computer does all the work, basically.
Pay me.
But as I was saying, right, with, like, the appearance of these costumes, Ishtar got a casual costume as well and stuff like that. As far as I can tell, I don't think those guys are in the events or anything special right now in Arcade. Arcade was just like, fuck it, new costume. Go! Which is a very different ethos than what FGO Core does, right?
Yeah, no.
I don't want to say one is better or worse, but it is, like, absolutely... Like, FGO will wait 5 million years to give you what they want. Like, how long have they been sitting on Ushi's animation update? I want to know. Probably several months, because they've been planning the Little Big Tengu event for several months. But, still, there was no way they were going to release it until they did Little Big Tengu, the event about Ushi, and also Benkei, I guess.
I probably assume that it's probably been a year. They probably scheduled it out. They probably scheduled out what animation update they want to do for who, and then decided an event that they would debut in, and then actually started working on them.
Yeah,
so,
like, it's still, there's a lot of lead time, and they will absolutely wait for their perfect moment, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd call it patience or like just aesthetics, but the core FGO team are really keen on making sure stuff happens at the right times. And you can tell they know when they don't have proper timing, when they like, I guess it's an interlude campaign. We've had these written. We'll just cobble something together, you know? Like, when they do dead weeks, basically, you can tell that they are like, shit, it's not the right time for us to do our next big event. Buy time, quick. You know.
Vamp!
Basically, yeah. So that's kind of an interesting prospect. As far as I can tell, Arcade almost seems to be, shit, did we make a model for casual Ishtar? Throw it up there. Give Altera some new hair. Fuck it. Like, and I'm not an expert on Arcade's news, obviously, either. But we do all usually see when they do new stuff, like people retweet it, or Reddit posts it, or whatever, right? Or, I don't know, I think we have people in our community who follow Arcade's Twitter and will just dump in a news desk to go, ah!
Actually, the more I think about it, I think they could be so loosey-goosey because technically the event, story-wise, FGO Arcade is way behind mainline FGO, so they really don't have to worry. Yeah, they're still in America, so they don't necessarily have to worry about, you know, keeping pace or whatever. They can literally just like, yeah, we're at the end of the race, but we don't fucking care. We're gonna go do fucking donuts at the parking lot while you're trying to win something. Yeah,
basically, like, they have obviously released servants like out of sequence, for instance, and other things. Like, again, I just commented, in case you guys forgot, that was the America story chapter release. That was, Sita and female Merlin prototype. Hey, we also just now talked about how they have a costume for Ishtar. And I believe Ishtar's been out for quite some time, guys. So, like, they're not necessarily sticking to the script.
Yeah, we're nowhere. Oh, God. I wonder if it's taking so long because they're trying to design fucking epic fucking fights for the new chapters.
Possibly. I know they are 3D. They're 3D arena style, so I don't know too much. This is the thing I will admit. I don't really see a lot. I know you can record gameplay. I don't see a lot of arcade gameplay.
And like, how would they do the Tiamat battle in Arcade?
Ooh, that is a really interesting. Yeah, because she's huge. Would you like fight her like feet first? Like, they could probably do some interesting arena stuff. Hell, remember how like the earthquake like jumbled you up? They could literally have the ground shake and have you like move to a different area in the 3D map. Like, yeah, like they could do some interesting different stuff. Again, talking about different dev priorities, right? On the one hand, designing models can be very easy if you set them up right. Designing really interesting 3D interactive environments, big pain in the ass compared to FGO. Just like, I guess she's gonna randomly shuffle your turn order. Bye. So it's a lot of different priorities and stuff going on, right? God, they're gonna do fucking Lamu in 3D as well. They're gonna do something creepy, aren't they? Those fuckers.
Sure. Of course they are.
Now, here's the thing that's gonna make me right. It's when they do playable Siduri and when they do Babylonia and I still don't have her in regular JP. Then I'm gonna be like, when I get released from the Backstreet Boys reunion tour, I'm going over there and I'm gonna throw some arcade machines into the streets and stand over them triumphantly.
That's a t-shirt.
But like, I'm pretty sure the arcade situation is because they're trying to keep themselves afloat because they have a very different workflow and a very different operating cost than vanilla FGO. Like, we were talking about this in another conversation where people brought up, hey, what does FGO do with all the giga money they make, right?
Oh, yeah. I will say, Lucky got a little sassy with people on that.
Yeah, well, because there is an expectation people have sometimes that, like, more money equals more better, right? Well, not always. No. I brought up a conversation to reference another game we like, where Inner Sloth, the makers of Among Us, recently posted a blog about, like, hey, where's that new map? What are we doing? Because they were talking about how they got a lot of accolades, they got a lot of cash, and they're trying to get more people to do more work, but hiring a new person is not a one-to-one, your workload goes up. I know, management sims have lied to you. But more people not always equal more better.
Well, you gotta think about it like this. First you have to train the person, then you have to get them placed into the workflow, then you have to deal with them, you know, acclimating to everyone else, getting their workflows started. Like, actually adding new people to a project is actually a ramp up. Yeah. It's a drop in efficiency, then a slow rise as they get acclimated.
Right. So you cannot, literally just go, hey, we can hire 5 more dudes. We'll do 5 times as much work. No. No es bueno. Yeah, I was actually thinking of that. Game Dev Tycoon literally does that, where until you do a character's training, they do actually everybody's productivity and morale actually goes down until you train the new person. So that part is accurate.
Yes.
But also keep in mind, notice how Game Dev Tycoon has set office space. You can't just keep hiring people infinitely, no matter how much money you have. So like FGO does make a lot of money, a lot of it as pure profit, as we've discussed before. Probably because their operating costs are pretty simple. They have to keep the servers on, and think about it. When was the last time you had a serious server outage? Right? Probably almost never. Like there are maintenances. But I don't think I've ever heard of the servers, like, breaking. They can get a little overloaded. Sometimes this is for a couple of hours. But usually they're pretty solid. Like, usually when I can't connect to FGO's servers, that's a me problem. Similarly, if, what else do they need? Well, they need to pay people to work there. But, hey, that means you're paying people to work there, right? Like,
yeah.
You've already got salaried employees. You have salaried people to draw stats. To draw sprites, sorry. You have salaried people to do testing, right?
Well, I don't think artists necessarily are salaried. I think they operate on commission.
Well, the people who make the sprites are probably sprite work,
yeah.
The actual in-game sprite work. That's probably there are graphics designers.
Yeah. Character design and illustrations are probably on commission though.
Yeah,
probably.
Which is another operating cost, but that's also on like a per servant basis because that's the thing. They're not constantly introducing new servants. That's usually a week or 2 weeks or more apart. Sometimes they go even longer. So, like, that's a process that they work out with, and they share some of that with some of the Type Moon guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
Same with writing, right? Like, a lot of that is Type Moon and people Type Moon contracts to do the actual writing. So it's mostly, like, programming, internal graphics designs, testing. And this is another thing I brought up. FGO is probably a very well-tested game.
They probably have a pretty decent quality assurance.
Like, think about it this way. When was the last time you opened up FGO and it had, like, a crazy wild bug that, like, made the game non-playable or, like, really broken? Very rarely. There was a CE issue a couple of years back, I think, though, now, in NA, where your CEs would accidentally get yeeted and they had to, like, roll back the servers. I think similar stuff has happened in JP a couple of times. But usually the quote-unquote big bugs we get are stuff like, oh, we didn't program the raid up correctly, or it didn't display correctly. We're sorry. Have some Saint Courts. We'll roll you back. For the one that happened at Thanksgiving this year in NA, they actually gave us the CEs that were on raid up for free, which was cool. But, like, as much as I said last night, while gotcha stuff gives you more agita, that's not actually, like, a serious programming error. You were able to play FGO just fine. Even if it meant you hated yourself or whatever. So, like, they probably, and keep in mind, they only turn off the servers for like a couple hours at a time, usually. Sometimes it does go longer, but, well, if you didn't, you should call it, because I got all mine like right away. If you didn't get your stuff, that may mean you didn't actually do it on those days, because it was very specific. Or you've got it already and it was less than you thought. That sounds like a you problem, Chief. Heck, I got, all my rare prisms and stuff sorted out. That's another thing, by the way, that's another bug that they've had a couple of times in a row, is the thing with rare prisms not sending to your present box correctly, but again, that's not fatal. You can still play FGO. FGO rarely, like, breaks it the fuck down.
Mm-hmm.
So they probably have a pretty good quality assurance team. The fact that FGO is pretty, like, low impact, it's designed to be run on, toasters. Maybe not full-blown potatoes anymore, but definitely toasters, refrigerators, etc.
Mm-hmm.
That probably means that the developers' hardware requirements are pretty light, right?
Right.
Because, like, your testers don't need crazy powerful computers to, like, render this shit. They need functional work PCs that can probably run emulators. I'm gonna guess, by the way, that FGO probably has emulators for internal use to handle the code. I doubt they are forced to playtest their own game on phones. But also, it's Japan, so they probably have really good phones, too.
Well, they probably do it on both.
Well, yeah, you want to make sure you don't have any problems with, like, phone compatibility, but I'm sure they also, for, like, technical stuff, they probably have solid computers they can, like, fiddle with.
Yeah. But a majority of probably what FGO is spending their profit is actually on everything fucking else outside the game.
Yeah.
Like funding animes and little niche games and, used to be cons and events, but now it's usually, paying talents to come on and hang out for a couple hours.
And probably even when they're doing virtual events, like the last one they did, the Caravan, they obviously rented that space.
Yeah.
Same with when they did the 5th anniversary live stream, right? Like, that's obviously a space they had to rent out, because that space doesn't exist in their offices.
But also, making merch. FGO has a lot of merch, like a lot of official merch. Not just what you guys see on the streams, but, just other little things. I was at this website. They literally have FGO frosted glasses you can just buy of characters that just have characters on them and stuff.
Yeah. Which, by the way, if you don't understand, I've been rewatching, because I didn't, I watched a new season, but I've been rewatching old episodes of a Netflix documentary series called Toys That Made Us. It's about famous toy brands like, G.I. Joe, but also talks about, like, Kenner Star Wars and other big franchise histories, like, how Power Rangers toys arose from, Bandai making Sentai toys. By the way, spoilers for them, they have a very easy job of doing it for those years that they worked with Bandai, because Bandai would literally take the Japanese toy molds, send them to America, and they would make the exact same goddamn toy. But when you do that, you have to pay for, like, testing, prototyping, materials, shipping. Occasionally your shipping of product falls into the ocean.
That happens more than you think.
It happens a lot, actually. Poseidon loves toys. The small price to pay for getting all your shit made cheap in China and stuff. But yeah, no, so, like, there are a lot of operating costs, and there are a lot of franchise development costs, is, I think, what we talked about before. But yeah, that's where most of FGO's
discussion in this.
My Discord might be cutting out. Hold on.
The game, and my immediate... Oh, am I cutting out? No!
Yeah, I think you cut it a couple times there. You might want to restate that sentence.
Okay. So, I will rewind. So, last night when we were in the 2-hour maintenance, Lucky decided to engage his brain since he didn't have to spend it on playing games. And people were saying, yeah, I want them to spend more money on FGO. My immediate reaction is like, okay, but what? Funnily enough, no one can give me a straight answer. So, basically, it came down to, I lost my train of thought because I had to stop. God damn it.
Sorry.
I remember where I was going, like, up to that point, and then I just lost it.
Well, so, I assume you were going to transition to, like, what people were thinking they wanted more out of FGO, right? With money.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And honestly, there isn't a lot. There's not a lot to do there.
There's not a lot. Like, I came up with, there's only, I had one specific, and it's the only one I could ever think of that would actually require a massive influx of money from FGO into the game. And that would to be a fully voice-acted script. Which, guys, if you don't know, FGO has a huge word count. It's fucking huge. Think about it.
Even if you take out third-person narration, right?
Yeah.
That's still, it's a lot. It would mean that FGO would no longer fit on toasters.
No, the size would be huge.
We're already going to warn you later about how your game's going to get like 1 to 2 gigs bigger with the new Valentine's update. And that's just all the Valentine scenes are voiced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, I said, like, I think I'm just going to bitch a little bit right now. But Lucky has this slight problem with people who say they want things, but they can't actually specify what they want. They can only desire in broad sweeping strokes. It's like, I want this to be better. Okay, but how? Just make it better. Just, you can't see it, but Lucky was raising his knife hand.
And yeah, that is definitely a thing where, like, hey, do you, like, and there are times, right, when you can look at something and go, I would like this to be better for a general reason of this, that, and the other thing, right? Mm-hmm. Like, maybe they're not specific problems, but general problems. Like, I think we even had this talking about, like, say, Cyberpunk, right? Like, yeah. Cyberpunk has specific issues, and it has general issues that we're like, we'd like to see some general improvement in this area, but this is the, this is the problem I'm talking about before, of the issue of being the friend to say, I'm hungry, and then not knowing where you want to go for food, right? Like, yeah. If you say, I want FGO to be, quote, unquote, better, and you don't know how or why, what do you actually fucking want? What do you want me to do?
Yeah. Like, speaking about, like, FGO Arcade and whatnot, like, when talking to a few people, a lot of people are actually just content to wait for things to come out eventually to mobile version, because honestly, like, aside from the 3D aspect of FGO Arcade, do you really want to be spending more money on a second gacha for the exact same game so you can just have 3D models of it? A lot of people would go, probably not. Yeah. So And the thing, but switching back to costs and whatnot, like things are expensive when you get to an actual franchise business level. This ain't shelling out $80 so you can buy something. No, we're talking about like hundreds upon $1,000s for venues, talents, cost money, renting out.
There's no point. I don't farm members.
Their event spaces, talents. We were actually talking about collabs, and we are trying to figure out the ratio of how much who pays who.
Yeah, actually, because it was a legit question I had. Like, when Lawson convenience stores collabs with FGO and like gets FGO branding all over them, does Lawson pay them to be the FGO convenience store, or does FGO pay Lawson to advertise their game? I don't actually know, because FGO is so huge, right? Like, yeah. I could see brands paying FGO to collab with them so that they can ride that wave. Merch collabs are probably on FGO's end, right? Like, with, it wasn't Old Spice, but there was actually, like, the fucking, like, deodorant and perfume brands, right? For, like, the Camelot movie. FGO probably commissioned those, because that's...
Oh, yeah, the fucking watches, the super expensive fucking... What was it, the size?
Yeah, they're great watches.
They're
Not
great
that I need
watches.
a really good watch, unfortunately. Well, actually, fortunately, because those watches cost you an arm and a leg.
Yeah, they do. Seiko, thank you.
Yeah, Seiko. Like, the glasses... That's probably FGO approached the glasses manufacturer and it's like, yo, dog.
The lingerie? The hotel? Actually, I don't know if they did the hotel rooms.
See, the hotel room is the thing. But also talking about things they spend money on. Escape rooms, obviously not this year, but that's a thing they've done in the past, is building escape rooms and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, if you're asking yourself, okay, but this is all in Japan, where does my money from FGO NA go? Hey, remember 2 years ago when... there were huge FGO banners and bus wraps in LA. Guys, I don't know how much that actually costs, but I know that's fucking expensive.
Hey,
anything
let me tell you
in
something.
LA is fucking expensive.
Hey, guess what? No matter how expensive it is to get the talents to appear on things in Japan, imagine how much more it's expensive to get a talent over here.
Oh, yeah, God, because I'm sure that they aren't paying, like, I could see some of them paying to bring themselves over, right? But when FGO is organizing a con panel, when Aniplex is organizing something in the US, it's not just like Albert just casually says, "Oh hey, yeah, Kawasumi-san, come on over. We'll let you go in." No, like the people at Aniplex are talking about the people in JP, and they're like, "Okay, we'd like Kawasumi-san on. All right, cool. We'll arrange it for her." And then it's like, "Kawasumi-san, are you going to be available for an event?" And she's like, "Yes." And they're like, "Cool. Here's your ticket. Show up on this day at this airport. Go to this flight. We'll fly you to America. Have fun. Bye."
They set her up with a hotel. They set her up with transportation. They set her up with security.
If people don't know, this is actually pretty common for big con guests, like both guests of conventions and guests of specific panels and stuff. Mm-hmm. That's usually how you know you're for realsies in the con world, when the convention is actually willing to, or people at the convention rather are willing to bed and board you over there. They want you to show up because you are a drawing point. And I'm sure that, like, there's probably some back and forth where, like, oh yeah, Aniplex is probably A-okay with, like, oh, you want to bring a famous voice actress in? Sure, we don't care. It's great. We love it. But, like, there's still a lot of expense involved. Hotels, like you said, security, very important. They take that very seriously.
Yeah. Like, trust me, I used to work security for cons. That, like, everything about the VIPs was on a need-to-know fucking basis, even from other security. They just tell you, be here, make sure no one goes through this point.
This door, you are not allowed past it. What's in this door? I don't fucking know. You don't need to know.
Yeah. But, like, no, we get our own, like, unique stuff. And, like I said, like, and remember, technically all this money is going to one source.
Yes. While there are different teams, FGO is a game that is produced by Delightworks, who is a subsidiary. I believe they're wholly owned by Sony Entertainment somewhere.
I believe so.
Which, obviously, as we've talked about, that builds up the franchise tree further. That means that Sony can just up Delightworks money internally and then just it over to, say, Cloverworks, who is a animation studio owned by Funimation. Or not Funimation. Funimation is owned by Sony now. But that also, hey, licensing, another great thing. Oh, hey, we own you, Funimation. We want you to produce the localization and dub of the show that we also own. You know, everything just goes in loops. And sometimes
big Papa Sony.
And sometimes in capitalism and this kind of, like, vertical integration and shit, this can get a little skeevy. But, for the moment, as far as we know, Sony's particular business practices with, like, internal departments is not, like, crazy bad, as far as I know, right?
They don't necessarily dissolve departments. They usually do a reorg, slap the Sony name on it in the front somewhere in tiny text, and move on.
How long ago did they buy Crunchyroll?
It was like a month or two ago. Things haven't really changed.
I'm pretty sure that really happened, right? Like, that was locked in, and it did. Yeah, no. Nothing's gone on with that yet, but you know that Sony has wheels turning. But they're also not crazy enough to go, all right, slash and burn. Crunchyroll, you don't exist anymore. It's all Funimation now. Everything's Funimation.
Please no, their UI sucks.
Yes, I've heard you yelling about this lately. And to be real, I also am not the keenestest on their UI, and I fucking gave up on their PlayStation app. I know it's wild, right? That a company owned by Sony can't design a fucking PlayStation app. But here we are. That is true facts with us. Let me check the mission clock. How long have we been rambling? God, we've almost been going an hour. Okay. We've given you a lot of thoughts about why Johnny Arcade must die, but at the same time, do also consider, like, how things are going. Like, on the one hand, you could argue, okay, FGO makes a lot of money. Can they fully support Arcade? Probably not this year, because they made a lot less profit, right? Because of other costs we talked about. So, yeah, you could argue, right, that maybe Arcade doesn't need to go so ham so it can stand up on its own, but also that's not how you design a business, right?
Honestly, this is what I would say. Go out on the streets and yell about...
Go ahead, sorry.
It's like, go out on the streets and yell about it, don't actually start a fight, though.
No, we don't actually want... I don't actually want you to literally riot yet. Never forget that you have the ability to riot, but don't riot yet. Just literally, if you haven't done your survey, let them know. Hey, guys, I'm not okay with this Arcade situation. Because we talked about this at the top of the show, but this is I think, where we'll end, where this is a conversation Lucky and I had with several people about, does Delightworks, Sony, whoever, the Arcade team, one, know, and two, one, do they know? Two, do they care? Three, do they acknowledge the fact that, guys, I know you're on Twitter and you're typing in Japanese, but the whole fucking world can see you do this Arcade release. That means that the whole fucking world, who can't go to Japanese arcades right now, knows and is not okay with it, right?
Yeah.
And people's levels of okay obviously vary. And I think, to be fair, especially internally in our community, there's a fair amount of memeing going on. People post the image. I'll never forgive Arcade, you know. It's not really, really serious, though sometimes people do sound very serious.
I am... Lucky would say that his jimmies get rustled, especially when I see, like, you know, JK Santa Fox.
Oh, yeah, no. Like, when I see this stuff, I'm definitely like, that hurts me a little. That hurts.
But, like, give me, like, 4 hours, I'm like, I'm over it.
Yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter until it matters. But, yeah, like, just, you know, think about stuff and let them know. And let them know in a way that you know that they are asking for feedback. Like, honestly, if they hear a lot of people in the NA server, talking about Arcade, maybe they'll do something. What will that do? I don't know what they'll do about it, but you have to let them know, because I think, one, do they know? Probably. I think at this point, because they've talked about how, they've talked about how, like, they know that, like, well, for one thing, in NA, they definitely know that, like, Reddit and stuff exists. Hell, you could select as one of the places you get your FGO news 4chan. Not that I would ever get my news from 4chan. But, like, they know that these things exist, and they are prepared to understand them, because I don't actually know, like, it's entirely possible that while, like, it may be that the localization team reads the surveys and compiles that for Japan, but we don't have any actual developers here in the States, right?
No.
Our development team is back in Japan, so what they do is they will probably collate that at best and send it back to somebody in Japan.
It's like, what do your Western audiences want?
Yeah, so, like, they can understand what's going on, and you should let them know through counts, but also, I don't know how close they pay attention to that. Like, I'm pretty sure Reddit was a pretty unknown thing to Japan for a long time, subreddits and stuff. You know, hell, I don't know if she does it intentionally or not, but whenever you see Kiryu Coco do meme review, that's a VTuber, by the way, if you don't know her, whenever she does meme review, which is she looks at subreddits and posts memes and talks about them with the other HoloLive VTubers, she always makes sure to explain Reddit to her fellow talents because they probably don't know because Reddit's not big in Japan. I don't actually really know what Japan does for social media a lot. Like, I know they're artists anyway are pretty active on Twitter.
It's Twitter, Line, Pixiv for art usually.
Yeah, Pixiv is big. And I know that they have, for art, there's also Skeb, which is a commission website. Mm-hmm. Like, that's a more businessy side of art than Pixiv.
I believe I believe they use Facebook, too. I believe.
Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, like, I don't know if they understand...
Actually, what is Japanese social media? Fuck, I'm curious now.
I don't know if they, like, understand all the same places that we get out to. Like, I know some of them know about Discord now, because, you know, everybody was forced to discover Discord.
Oh, okay, so I was right. Yeah, so it's Line at the top, followed by Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about Line's setup.
You can actually, there's actually a US
I know there's an
Line.
English version. I'm just like, I don't know how that works. Is it, like, permanent messages, temporary messages? Like, is it for public posting, getting in touch with friends kind of thing? You know. Like, I would
find out if I had anyone to talk to online, but I don't. I just have it because I'm a fucking weeb.
Yeah. Like, Discord is arguably a social networking thing, right? It's got a friends list, it's got a store, it's got a network, it's got social in it. Discord is arguably almost like a private by select thing, right? Like,
shout out to, I'm sorry, I want to read this out. Shout out to Architect Tang, who says, "All I know about Line is it's apparently an essential step in a rom-com anime."
Sounds about right. But like, this is the Japanese version of slide into those DMs. But with Discord, right, like, that's usually pretty contained. Like, you pick what servers you join, you pick who to talk to, etc. So if Line's more like that style, like if you use it as like a messaging app with your friends and stuff. You know?
I know it's a group, because I know you can set up Line groups, because, fun fact, the Fate Stay Night group, has their own Line group in which they are constantly posting Fate Stay Night stickers.
Yeah, so
to each other.
Yeah, I don't know again about the market penetration. Maybe we as fans need to get more online and yell more in the ears of the Japanese guys directly, because they have a lot of Line integration. There was a very, very long segment of Line integration in the last stream that was very boring to watch if you don't have Line. Real talk. So I don't know about the hearing. The second thing is, do they care? They probably care a little, but also I don't like. And I gotta be real. If I was the arcade team of FGO, and I'm designing 4 Japanese arcades, no, I don't give a fuck what people in America say. I'm not marketing to them. The question is if the bad press or whatever gets enough blowback that it affects their actual intended audience and market share. Now, if I'm FGO in general, I do care because you do have a separate team for this whole FGO as a worldwide franchise building thing, and I think it's died down a lot, but in past years, there had been some grumblings and grindings of disparity between Japanese server and American, US, North America server. Pseudo-global at this point, because it's also, in, like, the Philippines and Australia and other places. It's all over the place, right? But it's still called the NA server, or FGO USA. But there were people who were very agitated about perceived inequality between the two servers, right? Right. I feel like that has mostly died out. I almost never see those comments in like our videos, in our Discord. I don't really see them on Twitter. Not that I check Twitter replies for most stuff, because they are always still trash. But I haven't like seen a lot of like super long, when I, scroll through the subreddit to see if somebody's translated new lines or something. That's about the only time I actually look. It's true. But like, when I scroll through, I don't see people making big the state of NA posts anymore. Like, I think that's just died out. But that did happen, and I would acknowledge that there could be potential grumblings from people about the arcade situation over here, where it feels like there's this special Japanese thing that only a limited number of special Japanese people get access to, and I want to get access to it, and I would pay you fucking money, right? Like, it's one of those things where it's just, you don't have an option to pay the money. So, it's very interesting. As it gets slightly off screen, the Nyan Cat GIF freezes. Wild. But yeah, so, like, I wouldn't be surprised if they do actually, like, some people at FGO care at Delightworks. If the arcade team heard of it, they probably don't care, and nor are they necessarily required to, right? Mm-hmm. Not their job. And the third thing, though, is will they acknowledge it? Fuck no. They're a Japanese company. You think No, they would have to, like, accidentally launch Arcade in America shittily before they'd actually be like, oops, we deeply apologize. Like, until they do something about it, they're gonna acknowledge it. It's not your fucking idea, it's our idea. How dare you? You know? Like, yes, everybody and their mother is clamoring for Muramasa. Oh, we'll just put him on New Year's. Like, I don't even think they did, like, super crazy fanfare about it. Like, obviously they put him on a stream and some people yelled, but, like when Nissan shows up on stream and is like, and look at this. Like, he's pretty chill. That is a doggo who is attempting to escape a moose. Oh, God, somebody needs to fucking cut that out. You guys can't see it. This is only on our Patreon chat. This is why you should back us on Patreon. But Lucky has posted an image of a moose just rolling out of the woods and a dog that was clearly lying in the grass and is in the middle of jumping up to get the fuck away. But he appears to be sideways flying. Like, he is in legs down, arms up, looking away, ears back pose as he is just away from that moose. God, if I had the talent to, like, crack open Photoshop and, like, cut that dog out and animate him just whoop off the screen, I would. Fuck, dude.
Oh. This is what happens. When Omega gets to talking, I will just go look up stuff and share it with the Discord Patreon, but once in a while, I'll see something, I'm like, I can't. I fucking can't.
Mm-hmm. Hey, to be fair, I do the exact same thing. If I'm not engaged in the conversation, my brain will find something else to do. Alright, but anyway, we've crossed our hour mark, basically. Raw, at least.
I bet I could clip this dog out, though.
We should wrap it up. But I have to go pee, so I'm gonna... Let's take a 5-hour intermission and then figure out what we're gonna do about my
I need to compose myself.
Okay, we're going.
Alright, we're going. We're doing it. Can't stop it. Can't stop this feeling anymore. And my cord's caught. God damn it.
And now it's time for Lucky to monologue.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk a lot. So, everyone, sit down, lay back, get comfy, find your favorite doggo, and yell at them a lot. It's time for Let's Talk FGO Mailbag, the segment where we read what you, our beloved viewers, listeners, co-conspirers, send in.
For free.
So, this week we're gonna do something a little bit different. We had a pretty interesting loaded front half, but the back half is looking kind of sparse. So we're in this weird middle round of, is the show going to be short? Is it going to be long? We don't fucking know. So what the plan is, instead of actually saying we're going to do only an hour or we're going to do everything, we're going to play everything a little bit by ear. And when we feel like stopping, we're going to stop. Just so things don't take goddamn forever.
Yeah. Because I would like to get the episode at least done recorded before midnight.
Yeah. So, looking at the thing here, I'm not refreshing it anymore. We will have 31 submissions, and we will try and get through them as much as possible, as quick as possible. And we begin right meow. And the first one comes from an Adidas line going boy. And they say, hey guys, I kind of said a question this time. I was just wondering what sound, if any, you made when throwing grenades in video games. Or real life, I guess. Cheers. So...
No, I don't actually scream like I'm a fucking Call of Duty character.
So, thanks to Botan, I now have gotten into the habit of yelling "poi" when I throw grenades.
It's the best.
Because here's the thing. Fun fact, "poi" is the Japanese onomatopoeia for throwing things. That's literally what it means. I've known that forever, and I've kind of gone "poi," because I've gone "poi" in real life throwing things. But ever since I watched that compilation clip of Botan just saying "poi" while she throws grenades, I'm like, God fucking damn it.
It's adorable. Botan's great.
Yeah, no, Botan's great.
I should watch her more. Though her, believe by her own admission, her English not so good, so mostly I watch clips. Anyway. Mm-hmm. No, I don't actually usually make sound, but if I do, it's usually informative. Honestly, I don't really talk to myself a lot when I play video games. And I don't always go on multiplayer. If I do, it's like, I will verbally tell other people, grenade out, frag out, whatever. Don't go in there, it's a grenade. You know, kind of a thing. But, usually my noise comes after the grenade is out there when I get somebody, and I will occasionally treat myself to a you know, I bust out the Tim Allen noise. You know, that feeling that rises deep in your gullet when you get someone good. Oh, headshot. That's me. Alright.
a second here while I try to clean up this doggo. Alright. So the next one comes from the Eternal Storm, saying, "Hey guys, wishing you both a happy, both well after... Hey guys, wishing you both well after completing the event. I have not completed the event.
Who's completing the event?
Question, what is a servant that came to you guys suddenly after using a lot of Saint Corns and not getting them? I couldn't tell you, my dude. I can't remember those fine details. I really can't.
Yeah, that will be a question of what servant didn't that come to Lucky that way? Like, who came easy? And for me, I actually don't think I have any... I mean, I don't know. This question sounds like it needs, like, a time frame context. Do you mean, like, which servants have I spent a shitload of quartz on to finally get? Not that many. I mean, I don't think I went super ham on when I did the rerun for Writer Mordred, and I did spend a shitload of quartz on her the first time. I don't know, that might count, but, like, usually with both of us, it's kind of an all-or-nothing game. Like, yeah, I've spent quite a bit of quartz on Musashi, I still don't have one.
Yeah, so, I can't think of a specific example off the top of my head, I apologize. But because of that, we're just gonna move on, so thank you very much. This next one comes from Hoots and Hollers.
Yep.
Who say, hey y'all, or hey all, hey. No. Just wondering what events y'all are looking forward to. Reruns are included. Personally, I'm looking forward to CC rerun and Saber Wars 2 this year. Cheers. Well, cheers to you too, mate. Like I said, Lucky's big events, Valentines, CCC rerun, and OQ. If I had to name my top 3. There's a lot more that I'm excited for, but for the sake of saving time, that's what I'm sticking to. Omega?
If we want to do top 3, I really want to see this year's Guda Guda. I'm also very interested in what they do for Summer 4, Las Vegas tournament, because I really like 3 a lot, so I kind of want to see what they're going there. And I will also mirror our poster here, and for obvious reasons, multiple obvious reasons, I'm very interested in what we do with Saber Wars 2 later this year. So I'm ready to go on that one, too.
Ready to go.
Also, somebody in chat fired off asking about Maeve. I mean, I guess technically that was a surprise because she spooked me. That was a long distance. I think that was about a year after America came out, and I did actually spend quite a lot of quartz on that. So that might count as a story for that, if that's what you're looking for, Mr. Previous Respondent. But yeah, no, that's mostly my stories. Let's move on to our next question.
Moving on. This next one comes from, help, Azure Lands after my wallet. It is Chinese New Year's time, and that means the fucking cheapow are out, and panties are nowhere to be in sight. It's dangerous, y'all. But they say, dear Omega and Lucky, no question this week, just wanted to say hey and wish you luck on Lady Murasaka's banner. Thank you. Lucky's aiming for NP2 off the bat.
Thumbs up, y'all.
So thank you very much. This next one comes from Sanity Dropping. Dangerous. Dear Lucky and Omega, do you think Shiki could kill the concept of paying taxes?
I don't think it really works like that. She can occasionally kill some conceptual stuff, but it usually has to be anchored to something. She could probably stab the IRS? Like, the institution, if they have a building? Is that what you're looking for?
Yeah, maybe. Just delay things long enough that, things get weird. Anyway. Yeah, I can't draw out to... Well, maybe I could. I don't know.
I think that's more like if you want to draw it out, you have to emphasize the syllables. Tonikaku.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, that's something that's definitely better in Japanese, is emphasizing syllables and stuff. But
it's because of how the language is built. Anyway, we're not here for that.
No. But thank you very much. Moving on, this next one comes from Googolian God, who says, what has been your weirdest rolling experience? This is not for the best or worst pulls, but pulls that have made you raise your hands and say, what do expectations? For an example, when we had the Ivan Salieri banner last year, I decided to roll singles until I got a Salieri. However, I managed to get a third Hessian Lobo, and then after my 10 rolling from Shock, I got an Ivan before getting that single Salieri.
Well, I already told one of my stories. I was rolling on Valentines for MHXA, and then Maeve popped up, and I was just like, I literally tweeted, what sorcery is this? Because it wasn't Maeve's raid up day. She was just in the pool. That's right, I got full-blown spooked by a story-locked servant. It was wild. That's probably my weirdest incidents. Like, I've had some other weird cases where I'm like, why are you showing up now? Or being photobombed by Enkidu on the Aresh banner. Thanks, buddy. But, no, I think the Maeve thing is probably my weirdest, just because of, like, how weird that is.
I think I guess
No,
my weirdest
two
one...
Tesla 5 tickets is not that weird. That was just kind of shocking.
I think for Lucky, my answer would have to be the times that I have pulled multiple SSRs and SRs before completing my CE collection. That
CD rate up is wild, y'all.
Yeah. That is definitely something that has shook me, especially when I have to spend money to get event CEs.
Shooketh.
Shooketh. Alright, I think this ain't the best, but if I keep it small, it won't be that horrible. Hang on one second here. Lucky's doing a thing. And then that was wrong. First invert, then crop. And that's still wrong, but whatever. Anyway, moving on. Thank you very much for that. So this next one comes from, since I have seen nothing to the contrary, I hereby crown myself King of Apples. Chishi Wong is Beck's Magival girl.
That's right, you thought you were being a smartass, but in fact, you made a typo!
None escapes our eyes. Question. What servant or enemy type that we have not seen as a raid boss would you like to see as a raid boss? As a raid boss.
404 error, data not found.
I mean, raid bosses are raid bosses. Like, maybe for something new, maybe raid boss something, but I don't know.
I mean, like, there's certainly a shitload of mobs who haven't been raid bosses, but I don't think that's particularly cool. And, like, there's... hey, so in NA, we're about to have 237 servants. Not most of them have been raid bosses, but I don't know which... what you want from me?
Birds and crop again. That's deselect, dumbass. Control Z.
Rip.
Crop. There we go. Save. Save.
Live,
hang on one second.
die, repeat.
Carrot or die.
Skate
wait, no,
or die. Skate or die. We're just gonna make all the references to fill time. Vamp!
Vamping! Vaping! Actually, I'm not vaping. Hang on one second. I gotta...
So, do you think it was the Backstreet Boys reunion tour that killed the vape meme, or was it something else? Because you know what? I don't think I've heard anybody talk about fucking vaping in, like, literally a year. It's funny how that works out.
Hang on, let me see how this looks. I still need to clean up around the tail a little bit.
Yeah, I've got a couple of road pixels.
Yeah, I'll fix it up in a second here. But I'll do a couple more here before I do that. So the next one comes from Suna, who says, "Hey, Lucky and Omega, I hope you're doing well. My Kiss Shop figure just arrived, and it got me wondering, have either of you looked at figures lately? And if so, which ones would catch your eye? Wish you well, and wiggle for the gotcha." Listen, I look at a lot of figures, and then I look at my wallet, and then I'm like, it cannot be.
That's pretty much what I do. Like, I have an Amazon wish list called Figurines and Catalysts, and I put stuff in there, and then I forget about them. I'll wait till I'm fucking rich.
Mm-hmm. Trust me, when I get rich, it's gonna be all the stuff. Like, I have a bunch of cheap figurines. I think a couple of these are Chinese knockoffs, but I don't fucking care.
Sometimes it's hard to tell because the Chinese bootlegs are basically literally the same thing, just with different factory time.
What Lucky has been doing with his money, besides the gacha, has been buying a bunch of old games. I literally installed like 2 more shelves into my fucking bookcase just so I can have extra space because I think I've shown pictures of where I'm not gonna show them off, but that's why I've been dumping my money is buying a bunch of old games, rare games too. Jesus, Rarity is wild.
Right, I'm out of AP for a second time in the show. I think I will call it there because I'm at like 70% battery as well. Good night, phone. I'll be back later.
Dragging it. Well, real talk, a life-size Kana statue will not actually be that tall. She's a small.
Yeah, that'd be pretty easy to pull off. Fuck, I think I've got it's a blow-up, but I've got a little, like, teddy air cushion that came in one of my Persona 4 various franchises that, I don't keep inflated anymore because he's fucking huge. But, like, that would probably not be much shorter than Kana. Anyway, let's not get distracted.
No, too late. They mentioned Udoru. I'm distracted. Big titty dragon opie lolly. Yeah.
Alright, thank you, Suna, for your question. Wriggle to yourself.
Alright, I'm back on task. So thank you for that. Next one comes from, finally got my caster statues for Tamamo. I'm a happy man. Congratulations. But they say, Dear Studio Omega and Studio Lucky. No, Lucky is Lucky Channel, featuring Tyranny Rabbits. That's my actual YouTube channel name, by the way. No question this week, but I start working again tomorrow after my stint with the Backstreet Boys reunion tour, and wanted to say thank you for helping me alleviate my boredom during the 2 weeks I was stuck at home. I always looked through your shows, and I wish you both the best. Well, guess what? I wish you the best too, and I hope you get right back into work, and things aren't weird.
Yeah. shout out to you for surviving the Backstreet Boys reunion tour.
You truly, they want it that way.
Backstreet is back. All right. I can't remember any more Backstreet Boys songs off the top of my head. Look, he's already done I Want It That Way, and then I need to get Backstreet back.
I could probably, if I thought hard enough, I could probably... No, I probably get them mixed up with NSYNC.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm not sure I could correctly call any further ones and not also accidentally NSYNC.
Anyway, this next one comes from The Dragon King, who says, Dear Lucky Mega, I remember Lucky saying that he wants to see Tamamo fight Tamamovich. I do too. Wait, nope, that is I do too, but I was wondering what your reasons are. Also, I was wondering if you guys are still interested in Arknight's story. I do know that you guys don't have a lot of time to play it, but that doesn't sound judging. It totally sounds judging. So Lucky wants to see Tamamo versus Tamamovich because, one, I want to see more Tamamo on Tamamo action. It's one of those things that is kind of discussed and waved around. We did get a little bit of it in Sparrow's Inn, but that was literally this month. Also, as I said, Lucky's done some reading, and he knows some things about Tamamovich, and I basically want Tamamo to have a almost come to Jesus moment about herself, and that quite literally involves her fighting herself, because basically, I don't know. Well, I guess Tamamo did it first, but Tamamo pulled a BB and literally basically cut off aspects of herself she didn't like, which had the effect of basically reducing her spirit origin weight and removing tails and stuff. It's a whole thing. Like, I don't want to go into it.
And we've talked about it a little when we talked about CCC in the past.
Yeah.
It is a whole thing. You can, in fact, find out more about it, but it's why there is a Tamamo 9.
Yeah. So, Tamamovich definitely represents an aspect of Tamamo that she doesn't really want to face. And I want Tamamo to face it, because, that's character growth. Oh. Also for Tamamovich too.
Character growth.
Also for probably Tamamovich too, because, again, I spoiled myself on Tamamovich. I couldn't help myself. But it still makes me go, huh.
That's going to be a fun conversation we're going to have sometime in the next 2 years.
Yeah.
Sometime in the next 2 years. When? You don't know. I got you. You'll have to stay tuned, motherfuckers. Subscribe.
Also,
I got him.
Also, to talk about Arknights, I still don't play Arknight Story because it is still just endless sadness.
Yeah, I have not caught up on this story. I haven't even done anything with, farming the capsule gacha for the rerun or anything. I've just been doing my daily... I've been farming my weekly Originium. I'm not ready to spend it yet, but when I do, I got some rolls saved up. When somebody cool happens by.
I don't know if I actually want anyone until Mudrock comes around.
Oh, I posted that in the wrong chat. I will mute games because people are yakking about stuff.
Of course they are. So anyway,
no
thank you for
people
that.
yakking about stuff in games. I mean, I literally have gacha games now on permanent silencing because there's so much talking about Genshin and Princess Connect and stuff. It is a hefty weight of stuff. I'm just I just am not that much care about it. Anyway, we're not here to talk about that.
No, we're not. So, thank you very much. We move on to, I wasn't able to buy the 5th Calia Ruby 2 years ago, but I got a lucky drop the other day. Why is that your alias? Your alias should have been, fucking, 5th Calia Ruby Drop Man, or something. Fuck.
Yeah, just think about what your Mega Man boss name would be. When the theme plays, what shows up?
Anyway, they say, question, is it better to have an appreciation for history and mythology, or just liking to read that makes the TM universe enjoyable? May you always have enough CE drops to satisfy OCD.
I mean, so I'm pretty sure there are a lot of people who enjoy Type Moon who don't study mythology.
Mm-hmm.
Or folklore a lot. It definitely gives you a lot of appreciation, because Lucky and I love to have these little back and forth conversations and notice things where, we had a big heavy talk about Ushiwaka Maru, Yoshitsune, and also how that relates to Kichi Hogan, because because being a historical character who's been fictionalized, Yoshitsune, Minamoto no Yoshitsune, whose childhood name was Ushiwaka Maru, there's a lot of back and forth and different interpretations. For instance, Benkei's blank subscription list is from a kabuki play about Benkei and Yoshitsune. And Kichi Hogen is a figure that appears in certain retellings of Yoshitsune's story, and it just exists to teach Ushiwakamaru swords and stuff. And also sometimes they're Kurama Tengu, aka Sojobo.
Yep.
So FGO just went like, he's both.
It's both. And then they steal the six secret arts of war, which becomes
By seducing Kichi Hogen's daughter, Kanon.
Yes.
Where is Shizuka Gozen?
Yeah. That's Yoshini's mistress.
It's a big question. That's, by the way, Shizuka Gozen.
Yes.
Not Suzuka Gozen. Different famous warrior woman. There's a couple. There's a couple.
Yeah. Did you just fucking fart?
Oh no, like you've been dog farted.
Oh wait, you are a dog.
Savage animal idiot. Wait a minute. Wait a second. But yeah, no, to the OG question, like, it makes it more enjoyable, I think, like, appreciating the tropes of history and mythology, or, like, following this kind of, like, historical fiction stuff. But it's not required, because I'm pretty sure there are a lot of people who are not even necessarily casuals. Like, there are probably diehard Type Moon fans who don't know jack shit about real mythology. A lot of them are probably Japanese.
It's all types, yo.
Yeah. Now, that said, there are, as you've been pointing out in our chat, I do believe that Fate sometimes inspires people to learn more about these characters, because you will find a lot of times that, you know, Fate does their research. Like, not always, especially some of their earlier works are a little more loosey-goosey, but, like, a decent number of them have, especially modern FGO stuff, has a decent amount of research put in. They have a research team. So, yeah, like, if it inspires you, that's not crazy either. But no, I don't think it's required.
Nah. You do you, boo.
And thank you for wishing us luck on that CE drop thing, for reasons I'll get to later.
So, we move on. Thank you for that. The next one comes from the man who has a kaiju as a wife. Powerful.
Neat.
And they say, hello guys, I was just wondering who should be on the next summer banner and who should be on the summer welfare. Good luck on those roles. For summer welfare, I definitely want a summer Medusa or a summer Medea. Yeah,
that'd be pretty cool. I'm actually, other than obviously everybody's hoping and praying for summer Resh, I'm actually still pretty, I'm seriously wondering if, summer Semiramis might not appear as a welfare as well, because she is a limited 5-star, and a fairly big release at that. I know that some people got a little verklempt over her release date, especially when she first hit HJP, but there was a lot of controversy in NA at the time. Nobody really cared when she actually hit. So that's the thing I'm still waiting to drop, because that was one of the pigeon messages.
Okay, that's a little bit better.
So yeah, I don't know. Could be a lot of different stuff.
Lucky also has a place in his heart of hearts for Summer Lip. Just because of the weird ass pattern they have, but they usually have an extra character in there somewhere.
Mm-hmm. They usually get water code to draw somebody.
Yeah.
Plus, it's not fair to poor Lip. I mean, Melt and BB got one already.
Mm-hmm. Chiara did too. So, any others though in particular? If we're pulling from Lucky's wish list, Boudica, Atalante, and no, I think that's the majority of my list right now. Medusa, Medea, Lip, Atalante, and Boudica.
Yeah. So
thank you very much. We move on. This next one comes from Moon is trying to get into Paper Cartoon as her winter break is coming to an end. Keyword is trying because she's failing miserably. Well, stop failing! That doesn't ever work. Don't ever just tell people to do that, by the way. But they say, question, good day / even, Lucky to Mega. My question this week is, who's your favorite illustrator who drew for FGO? Mine is personally are Shizuki Moru, drew Ishtar / Enkidu / Intar / Tristan, etc., and Taiki, who drew Merlin and Dioscuri. Mine is Pochi. She drew 1 CE.
Yeah, Lucky really likes Pochi.
I do.
So the artist I always love to see is, like, I like Ishtar and Ereshkigal's art and stuff, and their artist is really good work, but, like, the artist I'm always happy to see do work is usually Redrop.
Yep.
Very powerful classic CEs, and then eventually got Kama, which is, again, a big stretch of the artistic muscles there, because of the way Kama's ascensions work. Oh, this dog fits perfectly into this thumbnail. Yeah, he's got a great spot. You'll see when I'm done. He fit right in. Anyway, But, like, that's usually the one I'm the most excited to see. Though there are a lot of artists who are really good. Like,
oh man, I can go
Wad
on.
Arco is just a house, an institution of art. Of horny art. Paco's another legend. Especially because Paco fucking loves his work. Paco goes apeshit with, like, not only drawing the servants, but also drawing extra art, doing dumb stuff. Like, drawing the dumb, the Santa Claus, Ashidomen. That one time.
That's the thing, he just draws FGO fan art, even though he is I guess I would say a high profile illustrator. Like, he was just like, I'm gonna draw something dumb today. Let me just draw Karna on a fucking, Ganesha slide.
Yeah.
Perfect. Let's draw all the Indian servants doing a dance. Or Hindu, I should say.
Excuse me, sorry.
No, he's great. I guarantee you he had a blast drawing fucking Santa Karna.
Yeah, he did.
But no, like I said, Lucky's biased in his decision of Poji because I just really like Poji. Poji is great. I love her. But if I have to go from there,
sometime.
Yeah, I hope she does. But after that, it would have to be Redrop. Redrop does amazing work. Their anniversary pieces are amazing. There's literally usually 50 fucking servants all doing something in those pieces. It's nuts.
Very high detailed, very detail oriented. Some people aren't always popular about. They don't always feel the best about Raita, but speaking about characters people who do extra work, I want to throw it again with Wad Arco. Raita also releases, and Wad Arco as well, release regular FGO fan books that are really, really detailed. A lot of different redraws of not just their own servants, but other servants in different costume situations, etc.
Mm-hmm.
FGO Memo by Wad Arco is always great, and I believe is Raita up to 3 FGO books?
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are all really good to see as well.
Mm-hmm. Alright, but we're gonna move on. So thank you very much for that. This next one comes from A Master Scar Roused by Tall Victorian Vampire Women. Mood. There's something in my eye! Fuck! I shoulder on. They say, hey there, General Omega and Jedi Lucky. Oi. Hope all is well. My question is, if you had to take the Chaldea children on a field trip, where would you take them? Have a good day. Mandatory. But only if you feel like it. Then it's not mandatory.
Yeah. Listen, I'm fond of museums.
I think I would take them... I'd probably take them to a water park.
It's a fair one. I was also thinking that I would let Lucky respond first on that one, because another alternative is, which he half said, he did say a kind of park. Parks, especially natural parks and stuff, are also really interesting. Get out there, see some nature, see some really cool shit.
Yeah, I say water parks because when kids are swimming and stuff, they tire out a lot faster than actual amusement parks, and there's less opportunity to give them fucking fuck tons of sugar and food.
And at least with servants, you can be less concerned about their safety.
Mm-hmm.
Say even if we go into the wilderness, say I went on down to good old Everglades National Park, I don't gotta worry about Jack getting eaten by a crocodile. Should be fine. I should be concerned about the crocodiles. Except I'm not. Nobody should be concerned for those motherfucking dinosaurs. They've been here a long time.
Anyway. See, now that I've gotten all conscious about saying Tonikaku, now I'm just constantly trying to avoid saying it.
Now go for it, dude. You're gonna get me saying it.
Anyway, this next one comes from Takatoshi Hijiyama's Himbo Energy. I have no idea what this is a reference to. Who the fuck is Takatoshi? Hang on. Google! Who's Takatoshi?
Hey, Google?
Google? Not Takoyaki. Oh man, I should never know Takoyaki. No!
I'm pretty sure it's because I just copy and pasted it, it's a 13 Sentinels character. I'm gonna stop reading this wiki, though.
Oh, it is Hijiyama. Okay, I'm done. Oh, okay. I get it. I get it now. I'm dumb. They are right, though. See, this is what I talk about. Lucky has no memory. It's now that you said it, I'm just oh yeah, now I remember who this is. Anyway, question: the upcoming survey will give us a chance to give our feedback to Dia, but what kind of things are you considering giving to them? A stiff punch to the jaw.
I'm afraid, Time Traveler, you've misplaced this letter. We've already given our feedback to Delightworks, and I think we told you, for the most part, what we were talking about. So, hey, go back in time and listen to our other responses. All right, cool.
Return to Sector 5. But this next one comes from Vacationing Chaos Spirit Cyrus 21. Who says, question, this is my first time running the Prism Codes event, and I was wondering, what other genres would you like DW to make references? Personally, I would love an all-out tokusatsu event, a la Super Sentai, and comment, what is with so many people being into the tokusatsu genre?
I don't know.
Like,
we're like debating them somehow.
I don't know, but we have like a dedicated group who will just sit and chat together. Someone will put on a Kamen Rider season or some sort of tokusatsu series, and they'll just sit there and
watch a couple episodes. And we'll absolutely delay other projects to finish watching them. Yeah. It's pretty funny sometimes. I don't know. Anyway, it's also gotten to the point where there's occasional bleed off where people will just throw out Kamen Rider references to the general public, even though there's only like 12 people in that club, and like expect their references to land. Like last night, I think somebody posted a GIF that was obviously a Kamen Rider thing, and I was like, first of all, sir, this is a GIF for ants, a non sequitur, and you're interrupting. How dare you? Like, that's all I did. All I did was say, how dare you?
Oh, yeah, they also say, also managed to roll both Ilya and Mayu on this event, the former on a men roll, and the later on a ticket during the event, not the ground. Chloe for the stunt she pulled during her interlude. Like, well, what other genres besides it? Because clearly you told us this so you can talk about how you love tokusatsu.
I mean, they didn't actually, though. They just said they want to.
Personally, I would love an all-out tokusatsu event out of Super Sentai Kamen Rider.
I mean, come on. This is way better than some of the essays about people's opinions we get in mailbag.
I guess that is true.
It was just a single sentence. I'll give him a pass.
Alright, fine. But
let's see.
What genres?
Well, we know Nasu likes kaiju.
Yeah, well,
there's some light references, but there hasn't been like. Well,
I guess the question is, do you mean genre or do you want setting? Because fun fact, Lucky literally lost an hour of work today because he got stuck on OSP's Trope Talks.
Trope Talks is great. There's like 50 of them.
And I am slowly starting to understand that what a lot of people might consider a genre is actually just a setting.
Yeah, I do think that. Yeah, so. This is one of those things where we talk about like anime, right? Like anime is not a genre; it's a medium. Tokusatsu is probably a genre, or at the very least, it's a style of making a show, which is kind of like a genre. But it also has its subsets, right? Like a Kamen Rider is different from a Super Sentai, is different from like an Ultraman, etc. Tokusatsu literally means special effects. Actually, the Tokusatsu Revolution. I know this because I watched that. Toys That Made Us when they talked about Power Rangers, where they also brought up tokusatsu genre. That also started as a result of kaiju movies, right? Like, those companies got into it because Godzilla started taking off and turned it back into another thing. You can argue that classically made kaiju, is like that's kind of like a tokusatsu genre, but it's also wildly different, so I don't even know if you actually call them the same. They did actually... Well, so funnily enough, I will tangent wildly, but that's actually part of the backstory of like how Power Rangers got made.
Oh yeah,
the Japanese Spider-Man.
I love telling people, giant robots started from Spider-Man in Japan, y'all. I love that. Yeah,
like there were giant robot shows in the tokusatsu genre, but they needed something for Spider-Man to do to like give him more stuff for merchandising and plots, so they gave him a giant robot so he could punch stuff. But no, that got Stan Lee introduced to tokusatsu, and he talked with executives about it and wanted to do a show. Like, they actually pre-planned the idea of doing the overdubbing style, right?
Yeah.
And then when Haim Saban came in and he coincidentally happened to talk to the same person who had that conversation with Stan Lee and tried to get this project made like 5 or 10 years earlier, and was like, oh, I know this show. I know this idea. Let's do it. Like, that's just one of those wild coincidence things. Anyway, speaking of that, like, talking about kaiju, right? Like, I wouldn't mind a kaiju genre, because kaiju is a very specific type of movie film. And genres don't even have to be that specific. Sci-fi is one of those things where you can get a broad angle of like sci-fi tropes.
Actually, I guess, yeah. Speaking of, I would like maybe see more of a. I can't speak for Saber Wars 2 because it is not. There is nothing in my hand, dog. But no, you have to make sure, don't you?
Hands are an illusion, Lucky.
But like, I can't speak for Saber Wars 2, but I would actually like to see something set in space, like actual space, maybe on a spaceship.
Yeah, I get some actual space action. That would be cool.
Space!
I also wouldn't mind just, they've done a couple of cross-references, but, like, an actual, like, event, which is like mecha themed somehow.
Dog, I'm about to slap the shit out of you. You know this, right?
And not just like the like you can I think it could be argued that the Halloween 3 like references kaiju / giant monster films, but only a little bit, right? Like the big mecha is a background piece, but mostly you are doing dumb house climber shit.
It's an ice climbers reference, I guess.
Yeah, it's cool, but it's not crazy. Also, yes, we are unfortunately reaching a high level of just people are just talking in their weird Kamen Rider memes and nobody has any idea what the fuck they're talking about. And I don't know if they realize that they sound like madmen, like raving lunatics.
But lucky we'll cut this off here. We have settled enough on it, and we need to keep going, so thank you very much for that. And we move on. This next one comes from a confused Mooncell master who got MP3 Elioff tickets when is fishing for a 5-star CE. I know this feel. That happens. I know this feel. Dear Lucky Mascot of Tyranny and Omega Blade of What the Hell Are Vampires, Nasu? My question this week is related to my dumb alias. As there ever. You've heard on H there, my dude. Has there ever been a time where you're fishing for CEs with tickets and get a banner 5-star? No. Here's the thing. Lucky rarely gets things on tickets, except when he does. So usually that shit happens to me when I'm doing skip gang on 10 rules. It's like...
No. Well, and Lucky's talked about how wild his luck with CEs is. Yeah. I have definitely gotten spooked on tickets for various things. I do not recall any specific events where it happened. I do occasionally get pretty lucky with tickets. I've talked about the infamous, 5 tickets, 2 Teslas. But, it's not. None of those stories really stand out to me where I'm just like, I am bamboozled. Oh yeah, we're gonna get some real skip gang on when they announce this fucking event.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway,
Tony Kaku. Thank you for that. This next one comes from Merkava Man enjoying the Hashishin Company retreats. I actually know this is a reference to. Apparently, at one point in the VC call, they actually got talking to what the Hassans would be like on a company retreat. Our Discord's wild, y'all. You should join it. Continuing from last week's question. Oh no, it's a series.
I don't remember that one at all.
Nope. Considering that match has temporarily used Kaleido Sapphire, what would you two say the odds that our match has the ability to install heroic spirits other than Galahad? If she used the Saber Cat card, would she get Lancelot and not Artoria?
You're asking me to make up the rules that don't exist, and I'm not paid enough for that.
Yeah, man, you gotta remember this. I'm not gonna say that heroics, I'm not gonna say that, certain systems are incompatible, but these are on two entirely different lines of,
Yeah, these are different world lines. Like, we do know that in the event, Mash, I think she shoots some beams or something with Sapphire, but that's not quite the same. It's just a Mystic code.
Yeah.
We don't actually know how that would work with, the install or include features. It would be interesting if Mash could install or include her other heroic spirits, but that requires a wholly different setup, and I don't actually know if she could, per se, because of how she is as a demi-servant.
So, that's that. Thank you very much for that. We move on. This next one comes from No Who Phone. Who is this? A classic. But they say, question, hey, Lucky Omega, hopefully your day is going well. Have you heard of the fan-made visual called Fate Empire of Dirt?
Yes.
The visual art for the game. It looks promising. I'm not aware of the premise of the game in general, since it's written in Japanese. Here's me wishing for an English release of the game. Yes, I know of it. No, I do not care about it. No, I don't care about it. Listen,
interesting.
Guys,
strong stance.
Okay, guys, I appreciate that people are creative and they like to make things. But the problem is people are going to constantly reference Empire's Dirt like it's an actual goddamn canon Fate thing. Because, they did it in Empire Dirt. I was like, no, it's a fucking fan game. People are already doing it. No, stop it.
Alright, Lucky feels more strongly about this. I am neutral.
He is neutral.
It exists. It has stuff. I wouldn't mind an English script because, like you said, it does look like it has some art, and I do believe it has some actual gameplay for being a VN type thing. And also some of the characters are mysterious, and I do kind of want to know because they have good designs who they are. But also, I don't care that much. As for the premise, well, I'm pretty sure the reason why everybody in our community constantly talked about it when it was coming out was that you can bone such characters as Skahak and Raiko. And that's why people care. That's the premise of the game, because it's an H fan game, as Loth put it. Prawn. That's a very tiny Michael Jordan gif, but I will allow it. Stop it. Get some help.
Sorry, Lucky feels strong. And Lucky probably feels as strongly as it does because people was trying to shove it down his throat a while ago, and then, like, that's that automatic...
It did pop a lot when it actually got released, because it was in dev for a while. People occasionally mentioned it, mostly because of the reasons I mentioned. Then when it actually came out, people were like, holy shit, it's out! Who are these designs? What's going on? Whatever. Blah, 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 blah. And it was like, okay, guys, calm down. But yeah. I'm kind of just over it. Whatever.
I was over it until I remembered it. That's how Lucky works. But moving on. Tanikaku. This next one comes from rushing between the front lines of a gun frontier and saving the undead. What?
I believe these must be gacha games.
Probably. But they say, hey guys, my apologies on the long alias name this week. Girl, you don't even gotta worry. I just thought it sounded cool enough to give it a shot. Lol. My question for the week is, do you have a favorite Mystic Code? Ooh. This doesn't have to be related to gameplay at all. I'm not sure if anyone has asked this particular question on the show before, but I figured can't hurt to ask. Anyways, have a nice Friday. You too. Enjoy the farming those feathers, if you guys are doing it. I'm not.
Nah.
Do I actually have a favorite Mystic Code? I like code art. I like Mystic Codes that give me arts.
I mean, I know I have a favorite Mystic Code because it's one of my few that's at max level that I keep using anyway. It's Mages Association uniform. Heal all 20% battery, baby.
Ooh, nice.
And I know a lot of people live and die by the combat uniform, but I have always been a Mages Association uniform guy.
Let's see. I think my mages and my combat are both like 8, 9. And I have a bunch of other ones at 10, but like I said, I level them up pretty. Like I level a lot of them up. So
yeah, I for other Mystic Codes it's pretty small, but like I am at like maxed out on Mages Association, and I'm like only like 3 on Atlas Academy and the combat uniform. You know.
Yeah. So we're gonna keep moving on. So thank you very much for that. We move on to a master who has acquired reverse freedom.
So, you've been imprisoned? Do you need help? Blink once for yes, 2 for no.
Are you a victim of the Backstreet Boys reunion tour? Are they constantly singing outside your house?
Backstreet's back, alright.
Then they do sick dance moves. Anyway, they say, based on story chapters the FGO survey listed, what would you like to see an anime of, assuming you did the FGO survey? If not, hello and have a nice day. Hello to you too.
We did? This was a tough one, because they list, like, all the story releases, and you have to pick 3. Let's see, which ones did I leave in? I think it was Lazabelle 1, Shimosa. I always make sure to give Shimosa a rep, because I think it didn't do as hot over here as it did in Japan, for obvious reasons. Weeb reasons. Gosh, what was my 3rd? Was it Lost Belt 2? I think it was Lost Belt 1, 2, and then Shimosa. It's tough, because they make you pick 3.
My 3 was Babylonia, Shinjuku, and Lost Belt 1.
Yeah, so I think out of that, you can wombo combo that to figure out what we'd like to see animated. It's an interesting question, right? Like, would they start with, like, a Lost Belt 1 series? I'd love if they did, but I don't actually know how that would shake out.
I don't know.
Oddly enough, they made starting at the end kind of work with Babylonia, right?
Right.
Kind of. So, yeah, I don't know. But that definitely seems like a list. And we've talked about this before. I'd love a sick, like, you know, either one single movie or, like, a couple of, like, 30 to 40 minute OVAs out of UFO Table of Shimosa.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be pretty rad. And I'm sure all of you would appreciate it, too, because you wouldn't have to fucking read it anymore. Animals.
Anyway, that's it for that. So, we're gonna move on. This next one comes from a man who's learned his lesson. Hey, Loki and Omega. First, I'd like to apologize for breaking the rule last week. I didn't think much of it when Google turned Seraph into a hyperleak. Oh.
Yeah, I also didn't realize this was an unintentional, but it sounds like yes. I'm pretty sure Seraph is intentionally spelled with the periods to resemble a hyperlink. So, for future, guys.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't think about it. I just saw blue lines and I was all like, be gone.
Yeet!
But didn't make it when Google turns Seraph into a hyperlink when spelling, getting the periods, and I'll be more careful in the future. Second, do we think we will eventually see all servants have an altar? Or will there be something that won't be because of the nature of the spirit origin? Thanks, guys, and hope you stay well. Guy, dude, chief, buddy, pal, friendo. Do you know how many servants there are?
I already told people the number of NA servants earlier.
All right, now let's subtract like 10 for the altars we have, and then immediately double that.
304, by the way.
Yeah, so let's knock that down to like 290 for whatever. Yeah, do you want to like all of us have the game make another 290 servants just so you can have alternate versions of versions of things? That's ludicrous.
So no, I don't actually think that like before the heat death of the universe, maybe, but no, I don't think it's a high priority for any of the writers to make sure everybody has an altar. Just because character writing is a thing, guys. It takes time and effort, and artists they don't have that kind of time.
But we're gonna move on. So thank you for that. This next one comes from Zed. Is no longer allowed to use the @ command in Studio Omega Discord. What?
Slightly written it.
Studio Omega. Just Zed. Comment. Why do people do this? Comment. Random cool alter Git and JP whilst fishing for event CEs and potential Avenger Ushi, I guess. I'm glad that the Prisma
Ilia.
I know.
It's a pretty common portmanteau, actually.
Is it? I just called it Prisma.
Yeah, I think it depends on your source. In Japanese, obviously, they would say Aprilia.
I guess that's true. The Aprilia event missions are honestly pretty easy now that I'm in my second run of it. I only need rare prisms for more bond growth. Question. So, I know that Lucky has started oh my god. So I know that Lucky has started Princess Connect, and I have to ask him 2 questions. 1, if you can pick any one girl from Precon to be a servant, who would you pick? 2, and the unlikely happens and Precon crosses over FGO, would you prefer the Precon MC to be a servant, or would you prefer his outfit as a Mystic Code? And for Omega, so I don't leave you out of the servants, who do you think would be the worst player?
Please leave me out. My dude, you have 4 line breaks in here. It's okay.
Out of the who do you think would be the worst players of your tabletop game, and what do you think they would utterly fail at playing it?
Gil would be my worst player, hands down. He would be bad.
He'd be bad.
Rocks would fall and he would die, and then he'd yell about it. No, Gil, you only have 25 gold pieces. It says so on your character sheet.
It's like, fool! Oh man, now I just want to see tabletop night at fucking Chaldea now.
Gil just shoots dice at the dice tower out of Gate of Babylon because you know he's got some in there. I think are the oldest dice in history Egyptian in origin? I think they are. I'd have to double check.
I believe so, yes.
There are some old ass polyhedrons out there. Anyway, enough dodging the question that got shot at you, Lucky. Go for it.
So for the second one, I would just want the Mystic Code. Yuki's Mystic Code gets kind of hilarious, and it'd be nice to see the MC in a fantasy type outfit. I think that'd be cool.
That is for the first aesthetic they could do.
Now, as for the first one, man, I don't know. Listen, I'm not super familiar with Princess Connect. I like it. I think it's neat. I did something completely stupid the other day and spent all my gems for no goddamn reason because I was sick and I wasn't thinking straight. Good job, Lucky. Pat yourself on the back there. And by pat yourself, I mean slug yourself, you fucker. But, oh, man.
As discussed, there is a reason why I have gacha games muted. It's because there are people going slightly ham on the Princess Connect, and I, have no context or care.
I'm playing the game for me. I literally have a clan of 1. I'm like, no, this is just me. I'm hanging out in my clan. My clan is called Tyrannical. I'm awesome. It's the best.
I do appreciate then that people seem to have taken that in stride and, elected another member of our community as the quote-unquote clan leader when they all decided to get in this.
Yeah. I didn't care. I was gonna do his own thing. I'm gonna do stupid stuff. But, to pick someone to be a servant, man, that's usually servants are servants because they have some sort of historical or, mythological or urban legend significance. These are just pretty girls and boys who look like girls. Come on, man.
Yeah, there are some OC cases where, they stretch their servant limbs a little, but still, those people exist in the universe, right?
Yeah.
And they do special stuff. This is honestly, one of the reasons I think why Nasu has cited why FGO hasn't really done what a lot of other gacha games have done and, tried to do an outside collab, because they want to make sure that all of their, even internal collabs, the characters feel like they fit in the universe.
Yeah.
Like, if they wanted to give me fucking Joker from P5 as a servant, that would be cool. But they'd have to work at it a little to make it make sense. Now, because Persona is an inherently supernatural series, that's not as hard, right? But still, it would be weird.
So clearly, they would just make Arsene and just make him look like Joker or something like that.
Yeah, no, like I expect that actually is much more likely, right? For them to decide to do an Arsene Lupin, and then like they have like I think two major choices for what they want to reference. Will it be a Lupin the Third reference, or will it be a Persona reference, or will it be both with multiple ascensions? Because they can do that. It probably depends on who they got as the artist. Arsene Lupin, by the way, a totally legit target, especially because we have Sherlock Holmes. Or, as Maurice LeBlanc had to change his name to avoid the wrath of Arthur Conan Doyle, Herlock Sholmes. See, that's why Arsene would be great. But anyway, that's a different discussion.
Anyway, so I'm going to move on. Don't mean to cut you short, but like, I literally don't have an answer for this.
No.
I literally don't. Tony Kaku, we move on.
Also, nobody should be allowed to use the @ command, really, in our Discord, but people do anyway.
And if I could just reach through screens and slap people...
I don't know. Maybe it's because we use Discord in different ways. I know we have a lot of people who are on mobile, like, constantly, even when I know they're at home. They just are sitting on their phones. But, like, to me, the @ is almost really rude, right? Like, that's you fucking shouting, "Hey, Omega, talk to me!" And I'm like, dude,
no.
What? I'm not... Am I, like, you can leave a message. I'm here already. Like, if I'm online, that means I'm in Discord, kind of. Like, it's on my fucking computer. Now, if you're hiding in gacha games and you want Omega to realize you're here, then yeah, you probably need to @ me. But that's a different thing. It's just also why I'm kind of... I think I've actually finally rejiggered my Discord settings so it doesn't, like, flash at me when I receive a new direct message. Or, like, pop up or something. But yeah, no, it's like... God, just, you know... I almost feel like adding me is like fucking calling my phone rather than texting me, right? Like, it's almost invasive.
Mm.
Like, holy shit, geez, guys, I was minding my own business. Fuck.
Omega, what's the time at?
We've been doing this for almost an hour.
How are you feeling? You want to keep going?
Let's see where we're at. We don't have too many more left, and I don't... are any of these huge essays? We might just keep powering through. Yeah, none of these questions seem like really fucking huge. There's like, what, like a half a dozen left? Okay, that one's got some length, but also that's got a lot of line breaks that are completely unnecessary. We'll figure it out and go as we go.
Alright, then we'll keep going. So, this next one comes from a Chan who simps for Tomomo.
Whoomst.
I just had an image of some dude just standing over Tomomo in a bikini, just, like, doing the fucking... making it rain.
Yeah. I'd also accept the classic Frank Frazetta type pose. Just, you know, standing there. Looking swole, and his sunglasses while Tomo sits there. Something you paint on the side of your van. That was an aimed statement, by the way. I was specifically talking about Lucky's van.
I miss my van. Anyway, so question. I did not missay that. If you can choose a setting and at least one main servant to go with you for a singularity, long spelt of redentment. Whom and where would you choose?
This is a Chad who did not pay attention in spelling class.
I would go for a story with Herc, that can talk, where he has to prove why he became a god of fortitude and just fight some strong servants. Anyway, I wish the both of you the best of luck and health. I wish you luck and maybe some spelling lessons.
Stongs. It's like stonks, but different. This is one of those open-ended questions that's like hard to do. Like, you're basically telling us to write an FGO event, which I have actually done a couple of and talked about once, so. Good. It's Logan.
Well, for Lucky, give me Tomomo as a main fucking character for once. I heard she does show up in Heian Kyo, but she has only a small bit.
Hey, Lucky, did you log into FGO today?
Yeah, I did. I was playing today. I'm good. So I would like an event where Tomomo is your main squeeze for the entirety. I said we kind of got that with Sparrow in, but she was still kind of just a part of the ensemble cast there.
Yeah, Sparrow Inn had a lot. Like, I appreciate that it hit all those characters, but Sparrow Inn was also hitting multiple characters.
Yes. Honestly, like, I feel like this would be too redundant because Tamano's main thing was fucking Heian, period. But they literally just had an event there. Literally, she's like, I mean, technically this is, again, this is Lucky again harping on weird shit. Technically, Tamamo no Mai is not supposed to be in that era, but this is a Nasu saying, no, she's in that era. And we're like, fine.
Well, and like we talked about before, mythological drift happens, and sometimes you can get these incidents where even Fate will be like, yeah, this isn't the appropriate time period, but we'll work with it because this is the time period that's popular.
It is popular. Literally the popular they picked in the Heian period is literally where you have Shuten Katoki, Raiko, Sei Shonagon, Murasaki, that's Shuten, Ibaraki, Suna, who are literally, like, I checked this, are all actually alive at the same fucking time.
Yep.
It's fucking wild. Oh yeah, and Abe no Semne. He's not actually a servant, but they do reference him. So no, it's a fucking
And of course, his eternal rival, Ashia Doman.
Yes, Ashia Doman. So no, they literally picked a PowerPoint in there, so it would be a little weird to actually, when was Abe no Yashikuna? I can't remember, to pull in this character who's like, I don't know, maybe just like, maybe 100 years either way, and just be like, yeah, she's over there. She's not part of the cool group. So I can understand why they do it. It's still just a little bit of those. Anyways, but I don't know. Maybe I guess the event will probably actually let's go to China. Let's confront Daji. That's Tama. That'd be wild. Fight yourself. That'd be cool. Listen, see, this is the thing about Tamamo in FGO is because she has no real scene, she has no character development. Which, in a story about, that has a lot to do with beasts, and, Tamo's certain relationship with such things and other things that bitch became in the future, I feel like this is kind of a missed opportunity here, people.
Yeah,
Unless it's coming up later. Unless it's coming up later. I don't fucking know, but I can only judge things by what I know now, and I don't know everything. I just know some things. Mm-hmm. I only know what I know.
Yeah. And we'll see how stuff shakes out, because I don't actually know much about the textual context of Lost Belt 5.5 yet.
Yeah.
I know that some stuff happens, but I don't know a lot about the body of the work, and that's not an invitation for you to tell me about it. People at home. That's when I say I don't know about something, that's not a call for you to fucking inform me, like I'm some kind of Moran who can't do his own research. Like I have a podcast where I constantly do my own research.
Oh, you guys missed it. Patrons got to in the pre-show got to hear the 1.5 speed of The Wanted as I was quickly doing a self-proofread.
Yeah, like the best way to a script.
Yeah. By the way, you can totally do a self-edit. The best way to do it is literally just say it out loud. Because if you say it out loud, you'll realize when things sound fucking weird. But so I was doing that earlier. So yes, Lucky does research too. He does a lot of research.
Anyway.
Tony Kaku. This next one comes from first timer hoping he's doing this right. So we took your first time, huh? Hey. Don't worry, we'll guide you real nice. But they say, hello guys, recently found you and love your content. We love you. I don't know if this has been asked before, so are there any low rarity servants 3 stars and below that you guys are waiting for and excited for? In my case, I really want Qingdong, Asclepius, and Jason for gameplay reasons and Husbando reasons. They seem like cool characters with very interesting gameplay. Low stars, coming up immediately, I am interested in William Tell. Yeah. He seems like a cool dude. He seems like a old crotchety old man who's really good with gun. I know crossbow, but gun. A lot of people seem on board for Asclepius. I kinda am, but I'm also kinda not.
I think Asclepius is cool, but my ability to get Asclepius because he's story locked on a second half banner I don't give a shit about will entirely depend on how that first banner goes, as usual.
Yeah, but so I don't know, again, Lucky has to put a caveat in here. I could play the fucking story and be like, oh no, I love this man. This has happened before, it will happen again. But other than that, I am particularly interested in Charlotte Bourdet from our new bronze lineup. Apparently she has some sort of significance, and she is a cute.
Also got a very interesting pocket kit.
Mm-hmm.
Out of the new bronzes, I'm actually, especially after Lost Belt 3, I'm very interested to see into getting Qingdong, and of course, because I have a collection to complete sometime, I am very interested in Gareth.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, my Lancer lineup is really weird. I wouldn't mind another, unspecialized, single target Lancer hitter, even if she's, bronze and stuff.
Mhm.
Like, I got a decent number of AoE Lancers and a few single targets, but I feel like a lot of my Lancers feel specialized,
Mhm.
Like, I have an Enkidu, and I've got him at full levels and some skill levels, but Enkidu really shines best when fighting certain enemies, so it's not like my first thought is not, can I throw Enkidu at this problem? It's a lot of different stuff. MP2 Rush is great, though.
Also, I am totally on board with Nobukatsu.
Yeah, that's a little farther in the future, but definitely gonna be big FP.
Big FP.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think I talked about his kit. Mandricardo is kind of interesting. I'll have to see kind of how they handled him. They made him a big centerpiece in the little promo they did for that, for the Winter Caravan thing, right? Like, they had a whole voiced scene between him and Abigail, which left some people confused, but did not confuse me, because I was like, guys, look at the fucking key art with your eyes. Oh my god, they've showed it, like, full screen already. You have to be able to pay attention to chat, as in our Discord chat, and also look with your eyes. It's important. So, like, I'm kind of interested to see what they do with that, because I do think he's going to be a more major character in Lost Belt 5. But again, that's kind of like Lucky talking about where, like, Asclepius and stuff, where he's like, I mean, he looks neat, but I'm not 100% sold yet either.
Oh.
Time and stuff. We'll see how things shake out.
Yeah,
there hasn't been a huge wealth of low rarity servants this last year. So, we'll see what stuff.
We shall see. So, we move on. This one comes from Dave Gustinian Julawikuje. I'm gonna guess that says Lord and Savior. I don't know what language. Actually,
I don't know what language it is, but Dave is certainly doing a thing.
He's certainly doing a thing, but hang on. Let's Google Sensei.
Google Translate, detect language.
Let's see here. I went to the wrong section. Hang on. What is that a language? Hang on. Hang the heck on. Hang on. Google. Yeah, it's Havanese. What the fuck is Havanese?
Javanese.
Is it Javanese?
Yes, as in the island of Java. It's an Indonesian language, I believe.
Oh, it is with a J? Oh, well, yeah, it's Java. Okay.
Yeah, if you haven't heard of Java. Yeah, no, Javanese. I'm not shocked, though, that Lucky immediately jumped to the HJ sound.
Sorry.
No, but that's in the wrong area of the world for the soft J?
No. I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, I can't say Tony Kaku. Anyway.
And so on.
They say, which servant's gameplay do you think reflects their anime counterpart the worst? I always thought Earbuds Could was pretty disappointing compared to what he can do in the anime.
I mean, that's mostly a function of his NP does curse and strips buffs, so I don't know what more you want. What part of his kit is not anime reflective? He doesn't seem like a cool guy? Well, I don't know. There's not a skill for that, being a cool guy. What are his default skills, anyway? To be fair, I don't think any, animated server matches their fucking,
I
mean, there's a couple, but the way FGO handles skills is usually pretty different from that stuff, right?
Think about Ku, fucking Unlimited Blade Words. He knows rune magic. He can set people on fire with runes. Do you see that in FGO? Not until you get a whole separate dude.
Default, Prototype Ku keeps the rune magic skill, but no, Vanilla Ku doesn't because he's already got 5 billion skills.
Yeah, think about Caster Giles. Summons a giant-ass tentacle monster. Science tentacle monsters in there, on the reg. You don't see that in FGO.
Wait,
honestly,
has Giles gotten an animation update? Didn't he get one? Didn't that happen? Am I making that up?
Does he still have caster balls?
If he did get an animation update, did that happen? That probably should have happened when he was featured in fucking Imaginary Scramble if it didn't happen. But if it hadn't happened, he certainly could. Oh, yeah, no, that's right. This is one of those things, right, where, Ku is a character, Vanilla Ku can't use rune magic, but that's because the game designers actually had their fucking brains on when they designed him, because his skills are Batcon, protection from arrows, disengage. That's a great kit, and actually is reflective of what he can do, but also
here's
doesn't
the thing.
Capture his entire thingy.
I guess that's what I want to say. Servants are more than what they can put into code. They really are. Like,
yes, while I appreciate the gamification for realsies, right? Because Fate has always been slightly gamified, but not really. And for a very specific reason, I find the fact that FGO further gamifies stuff, like, interesting. But also, like, think about all the things that are, like, the way passive skills are handled and shit, and, like, lots of other things. And how they do it. Now, like, there's some stuff that missed the mark.
Like, also, just think of, like, power scale. Do you know how much stuff should be surviving Artorias Excalibur? Not a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it probably depends on how much juice she puts in, but yeah, no, like, it's supposed to be pretty powerful attack.
Yeah, like, there's no mechanics in FGO to release the seals on Excalibur either, or Rongo. So it's like, that's the thing, I'm not sure, I guess I am kind of calling you out, but don't expect a game to necessarily reflect what an animation media can do. They can pull from a lot more stuff.
That, and also, sir, I contest your example. In that, I think actually that Baseline Deermud, based on what you see in the anime, has a very reflective. He inflicts curse, damage that won't go away, and he removes your buffs, like he pierces magic. Like, okay, yes, the curse doesn't stay forever, but that's because that would be dumb. That's not how games work. Would you want to fight Deermud as an enemy boss and have him do curse damage that never goes away? Would you? If you say yes, I'll hurt you. Don't say yes to that. Be better than that. Your time is worth more.
Pain,
but yeah, no, like, seriously, like, honestly, in terms of NP design, Vanilla Deermud has a very, very good design. And the fact that it's a quick NP that has 2 hits is not great, but, like, what do you want?
What do you want, nerds?
He has Mind's Eye True, and the Love Spot. Is the Love Spot dumb? Yes, but also it's one of those things where they turned a bad skill into a positive, right? Like how they did with Weak Constitution for poor Okita. So,
Tanikaku. Let's move on. So this next one comes from Father Pucci, who says, "Hello, Megan and Lucky. In light of recent JP release giving us an older Ushi, are there any servants that you'd like to see a older or younger counterpart? And if so, how do you change them? And how would this change them? My personal vote would be seeing an old Dantes after his redemption, as I think he'd make a fascinating counterpoint to his younger self, as he would be most likely be like a ruler for having peace and tranquility. Honestly, I'm pretty sure Dantes would be sitting there being like, man, I was dumb."
Yeah, basically. And to be fair, that is the thing that was deliberately pulled with Dantes. Like, he never refers to himself as Edmond Dantes. He's always the Count, right? Like, he is the still young and very spicy about revenge. And there is a different version of him who would be less spiced.
Lucky has his go-to answer because it's what he always says.
But also, I was going to eyeball this, and I had to be like, wait a minute, what? When was this made? I do think this was made before the Santana release, funnily enough. Because it is from several days ago. That was a big one on our list, guys.
Yeah, it was.
But there is at least a design for that. I don't know much about the details of him as a unit. I could probably look that up, but I don't care that much, because if he does come to FGO, it'll be changed, so. Anyway.
But, if there's something that I definitely want to see an older version of, it is Cha-Cha into Lady Yodogiri. That is a big one. It has actually been referenced in FGO as Cha-Cha's adult form is very vavoom. And it has been noted in her material, in the story and whatnot, that she is specifically not in her golden age form, which would be Lady Yodogiri.
This is probably similar to like how certain servants don't take certain stances. Like, she is not doing things that way because that would probably put her closer to all that time those people hated her and stuff.
Yeah, she would definitely be an Avenger.
In her NP, yeah.
Actually, no, yeah, that's right. In Gouda 3, she references that she's going Avenger Yodogiri, except she really doesn't. But, jokes are deepest lore, y'all.
Yeah.
Actually, fun fact, I was actually doing some researches on the sieges of Osaka this summer and winter. Apparently there's no historical evidence, but it's believed that actually Miyamoto Musashi actually fought on Lady Yodogiri's side during the winter siege. I always found that a little wild.
That's pretty funny that there should be some dialogue there. That could be pretty funny.
That should be good. Yeah, like hopefully next again, I'll hope for the next Gouda Gouda we'll get like
Musashi just goes, "Lady Yodogiri, why are you so small?
Why are you so small and cute?
I'm gonna eat you right up." Anyway, pay me some gold.
But like, yeah, give me my next Gouda. Give me Avenger Yotagiri. Give me like, I don't know, Lancer, Sonata Yukimaru, and who else would I throw in there? I don't know. Oh, fucking Assassin Sartobi.
You could do some fun stuff there.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've talked about this before, but there's a very interesting slice with younger Nero, because Nero was appointed to the position of Emperor through shenanigans at about age 16, I want to say. And was basically shadow ruled by Agrippina the Younger for like, I want to say like a full 3 to 5 years before Nero decided, nah, I'm done with this. So that could be a very interesting to kind of see like pre-migraines, pre-shenanigans, also arguably possibly even like obsessed about people kind of a thing, you know? Not like, probably not like full-blown a demure Nero, but more of a like, hey, I'm Nero, I'm here to do good stuff, I'm the Empress. You know, slight quaver voice. Where's my mom? Also, by the way,
basically like the Saber Lily.
Yeah, kind of. Like a Nero before we get any full-blown tragedy stuff, like, oh golly gee willikers, I've become the Emperor.
Also, real talk, also just give me Agrippina.
Also, yes, I was about to say that Agrippina has a fucking art design by What Arco. It's pretty good. It's not that Nero already being basically a short stack, being fun size, isn't like already really Vavoom herself, but like, hey, if you ever wanted basically long hair MILF Nero, that's basically Agrippina's design. She does have a toga though.
Yeah, it's great.
And there's all kinds of weird things you could do with that one.
Oh yeah. Tonikaku, we should move on. Yeah. This next one comes from the former live translator of the Nijisani Ars Alma, who quit because of target abuse on Reddit. That is heavy, my dude. I hope you're okay.
That's very specific.
Yeah, no, that's a VTuber.
Yeah.
Nijisanji
is a group. I'm not familiar with him myself, but I recognize Nijisanji.
Yeah. I hope you're alright, my dude. Anyway, your question. Question. I was too weak to complete Xmas 1. You were not too weak. You were just ill-timed. To complete the Christmas 1 event when it happened. When the rerun came, I either forgot or I miscalculated Santa Alto's ascension level, but now I'm one chicken bucket short of her final ascension. Oof. Big oof. Is there anything in your account that you currently can't fix, and what would you like the devs to add to the game to rectify this? Thanks for all your content. So, Lucky only has one big stain on his FGO career. It's not my numerous times I've broken my goddamn login streak, because while it is cool, it's not that important. But, Lucky will never forgive himself for miscalculating or forgetting or whatever Valentines last year when I wasn't able to complete the Valentines event and not get the Grail. Like I said, this hurt me because the event was never rerun. That means that's a Grail I will never get, and I don't know if they ever have plans to implement, getting backup Grails. Lucky technically also has a story with Guildfest, but I dodged a bullet with that one because people said that when they rerun Guildfest next year, they'll rerun the main story quest and you can get the Grail again. So
they'll do that little thing.
So I am fortunate in that. So I was able to dodge that one. I just gotta make sure to not fuck it up. But no, not completing was it Chocolate Ladies? No, it wasn't Chocolate Ladies Commotion. What the fuck was it called?
No, Hanging Gardens of Chocolate.
Hanging Gardens of Chocolate. Yeah, not completing that. It is the black spot on my history.
I'm trying to think. I don't think I've ever fallen short on like min completion of any events yet. There's been some real risks, but luckily FGO has always not had an event going on when I've say had my power knocked out by a hurricane and stuff. I think the only thing I've missed is there are still some unfortunate event CEs where I never got that 5th fucking drop and they sit eternally, never to be completed even after a rerun. Or some of them weren't rerun, because shit's weird. So, like, that's one of those things that, unfortunately, I will probably never be OCD enough to go, oh, hey, I want to roll on this memories banner, assuming we fucking get those. NA, Aniplex, hey, just heads up. You should do those, even if I'm not going to roll on them.
You're really trying to find common ground with me, and it creeps me out slightly.
But, like, I probably will never feel so OCD as to reroll on those banners, so some of those CEs are just permanently incomplete, because Everyone who says I can't sneak in a 5th CE, fuck you, I hate you, please die. Sorry, I'm on this again because of reasons that we will get to soon. And actually, I don't know, we're at about 2:20. That's taken us about 20 minutes to go, like, 3 questions, and these last couple do have a lot of line breaks. I don't know. Do you want to power through, or are we goo?
Let's call it here. I said we still gotta get through the pregame. It is 8:25. It is a Friday night.
Yeah, we do got to do the pregame, and we are at 2. So for those, I think it's like 3 or 4 people left. Sorry about that, but your questions are unfortunately at the bottom of the list, and they are a little chunkier.
Chunky.
Please consider resubmitting. Or, and I don't, because we haven't read these questions out, I don't mean this is like a targeted dig, but also consider concise writing. Can you boil down your thought to like 3 less line breaks? Think about it. Honestly, if everybody could figure out how to write a little bit more concisely, we could be done with mailbag a lot sooner. But anyway.
Jesus, people are going ape shit in gacha games. You guys are animals.
Yeah, there's a reason why I just straight up don't look in there anymore, even though they are posting stuff like Arknights and Azure Lane costumes.
Did someone post a blow-by... Oh my god. People are animals.
People are going crazy down there, yes.
Hey, Buster, look at this. Buster, you see these people? They're like you.
That's great. I love it. I'm glad that's on air.
Yeah, you're a good boy, though. Okay. You are an actual good boy.
People are still yelling about Resident Evil in games, so I will continue to leave it muted. Anyway, for Omega, it's time to go into free talk, and I got some stuff to talk to you about, because we can be reasonably certain that soon, sometime, probably not too distant future, because they need to make up time, because Lucky and I had this conversation about future wanted stuff plans, where they do have this weird thing where they have to scooch up Lost Belt and make room for new Guda Guda before July 4th-ish, so they're probably not going to be wasting a lot of time. But they still have not announced, so we will get out there and talk about the Voice and Letter Collection.
Yay.
Valentines 2021. The pregame. Alright, people are talking about stuff that might tangentially be something I don't care about. But anyway, we'll move on. I'll keep focusing. Okay. Mm-hmm. Alright, kids. It's time for another Valentine's event. With a points ladder. Yay.
Yay.
You only need Fuyuki to participate. Yay. Now, mercifully, you only need 3 million composition points, as opposed to whatever dumbfuck huge number we needed for the last one. It was a lot. That's right, 3 million total. That's to get one of the lures that is in this event. Actually, one of 2 lures that are in the points ladder, I believe. Even. So, yeah, it was a lot, and now it's less. So, it will also provide you with 15 lock-on and 222 surprise chocos. Coincidentally, this is 237 chocos, which means that it's the exact number of servants that will be available in the game at that time. So even if you have literally all of them, you'll be fine. For most of us, you'll be fine anyway. It's exactly like they did last time, but yeah, they have done their homework. I do believe there is either the same amount or slightly less lock-ons and more surprise. That's not a big deal, but it does mean that your lock-ons will be much more specific. Okay, here is the important note. There's a bold underlined statement in here.
Oh.
In this bullet point. Remember, this is called Voice and Letter Collection because it adds voiced versions of all the Valentines scene. Yes, I looked this up and double-checked. This is the voiced one. Hence why it's called Voice and Letter Collection. So, not only will this be a big update for your phone, but also it technically counts the voiced versions as new scenes for the purpose of records. So, for instance, previous Valentine scenes have been tucked into the previous years of Valentine's records. That is not the case. These will be all new versions because they come with voice. So it will record them separately. This is presumably to avoid, like, having to program weird shit where they, like, replace old scenes and stuff. Mm-hmm. Now, this means that in order to obtain the new scenes, because the CEs are the same but the scenes are different, you must, bold, underlined, must, remove previous CEs from your library by burning them or using them as CE XPs to get the new scenes. Remember, the CEs are identical, and you cannot receive the same CE twice. It's not allowed. The Valentine CEs are unique. You're not allowed to collect them multiple times. If you want to get all your scenes, you have to make sure you get rid of your CEs if you weren't some kind of animal who did that already, like, ahead of time immediately. Seriously, what the fuck? Just buy more second archive space. Anyway, this is something I'm planning on doing over the weekend once I've cleared up raids and stuff, is I'm going to go through and probably feed them as EXP,
Mhm.
I do need prisms, but there is going to be a future, like, special master missions for Saint Courts to have a CE leveled up. I have a couple of MLB 5-star CEs that I want to, like, work on that are, like, in their mid-40s, so. And I don't have the patience for CE bombs. But anyway, yeah, so remember, like I said, you have to get rid of your old Valentines if you're still hoarding them. This is, like, the one time it's okay, guys. Otherwise, you cannot get new scenes. Anybody who is not listening to the words coming out of my mouth, I will bonk you with a bat if you ask me this fucking question in my Discord. Vespairr, I'm talking to you. Pay attention with your ears to me, please, for once in your fucking life. Thank you. Robyn, make sure to DM Vespairr about how I told them to listen to this part. Anyway. That's the situation we're in, okay? So, just keep that in mind. Clear out your Valentine's backlog if you still got them. That way you'll actually get your new scenes. Because, like I said, the scenes are different. The CEs are not. This causes this slightly weird problem. A further, unlike last Valentine's thing, this is a simple 7 main quest with your daily time lock, so no, we need to worry about missing it. Literally every day, Section 1, Section 2, Section 3, etc. to Section 7. By completing these stories, you will earn a whopping 5 Saint Courts, 1 3-star CE, and a Grail. So it's all pretty clean, just do your fucking, etceteras. Oh, sorry. Well, you'll listen back to the audio. Robyn is joking about talking to Vespairr, but you'll listen back to the audio to do time codes, so you can even have it take less time because it'll be edited. And while there will actually be a lot of story supports, Murasaki Shikubu will be your constant major story support through these quests. And these story quests will be pretty basic, though I do want to warn you, the final one, Day 7, is a caster boss with 3 break bars. They're not huge, but plan ahead. Think about stuff. Be cool. Now, also, similarly, free quests are pretty simple once again. We're following the good old ascending difficulty and AP model. So you start at a 20 AP beginner tier, my favorite tier, and then you end with a 40 AP accursed book tier. Or whatever the hell they decide to call that in English. But yeah, it's the funny thing where they start normal and then like halfway through they lose the plot and they just get weird. Luckily, furthermore, these are all monoclass plus Zerk nodes. And I do believe all monoclass plus Zerk, because they have that thing where they're, like, randomized. Mm-hmm. So, like, they'll randomly swap in a Berserker enemy.
Rise.
But, yeah, they're monoclass or Zerk, so you're fine. You're literally fine. I love it. The highest boss of these rounds has approximately 150 KHP levels. And without any bonuses, you'll be getting individual point drops, so no guarantee how many point drops you get per run, but you'll be getting individual drops that are worth between 1,500 and 2,500 per drop of points, right? Mm. This means that even without assistance, you only need to get, let me see. It'll take me a sec, because I have to, like, type out all the zeros, but... So, it would take you approximately 1,200 drops without bonuses, which seems like a lot, but remember, you usually get a shitload of drops per quest. So, you will have a decent range of getting this accomplished. So, where was I? Oh, okay. The points ladder. So, in addition to the chocos, what do you get out of your points ladder? Well, you'll get all the new command codes. You'll get apples. You'll get 2 lures. That's right, 2 lures in the points ladder. 15 magatama, 14 chains, 10 cores, 15 stakes, 15 shells. Oh, I think I missed a note here. Let me double check what I'm dropping. I've realized my notes are slightly weirdly written. I wrote 10 and then space and then 5. Oh, it is 10 5-star EXPs. Okay. Math. Numbers. So yeah, 10 5-star EXPs. Great upgrade, by the way. 5 tickets. 1k mana prisms. I will need those. And 9 million QP. No CE. Yeah. I know. I'm like, they've got these bajillion fucking things in the points ladder. They can't give me the 5th CE, right? Mm-hmm. How dare they? The difference between 9 million QP and 8 million QP is nothing. Fuck you, game designers. I hate you. So, how do you get those points? Okay, well, the store CE will give you plus 30% per drop, plus 60% at MLB, and each Valentine CE of the past will give you 10%. So, it is a little sad you're gonna have to yeet most of them to get your scenes. But I do believe you get your first Choco at like 1,000 points, which will probably be like the first time you get a points drop, right? So you should start getting CEs that count for this very fast. And as far as I know, they don't have to be attached to any particular servants. Just if you have a vanilla Valentine CE, that gives you 10% points. So you should easily be able to rack up big point percentages in here. easily double, if not triple, depending on the math. Now, Murasaki Shikabu does not give you a point bonus, but she does have plus 100% damage and plus 50% bond for the event duration. So enjoy your free double damage, kids. Everybody who displays to me a foolish Scotty warrior and not a Shikabu will earn my eternal wrath. Oh, actually, that's a good point. I should throw that out there. I do believe don't burn Mash's chocolates, both of them, right? Because she has multiples, so be careful about those. But everybody else, you have to get those scenes multiples. But hers are story-related, not servant-related, so that should have been implied. But yeah, because Mash doesn't have a scene, you don't have to get rid of that one. But yeah, everybody else, eat them. But where was I? Points ladder, points, Shikabu, shop. Okay. By the way, there's the usual 3 things in the shop. The shop will contain 4 copies of the CE, as I expressed to you earlier. It'll get you some Lanogos, some pages, some gold foes, and some regular foes. You will get Caster Assassin and Berserker statues, if you need them. Scarabs, grease, metals, stingers, fluid, gunpowders, and EXPs. It will also contain 10 of a new mat, mirrors. So there will be some drops in the main story as well as the farming quests from the returning Nue mob as an assassin now. Hope you enjoyed fighting that guy in Sparrow's Inn. He is now degraded to a mook. But also there will be a free quest added in Shimosa, I believe, to farm mirrors. Murasaki needs the mirrors, so watch out for that. Additionally, you can cash in spare chocos for 100k QP a pop, for those of you who don't own literally every servant. There is a CQ, of course, for a third lore. It is versus Murasaki. You need to clear Solomon to do it, so if you're not caught up, have fun with that. And, of course, there is the clusterfuck of the Valentines banners. So, new caster, Murasaki Shikabu, will obviously be on rate up herself all the time. I don't think she actually goes off rate up, from what I read. Along with new CEs, obviously, which are cool. They're great CEs. You should be interested in them. But apart from the fact that Murasaki Shikabu is on rate up, you will have 2 separate pickups which will rotate through every single permanent and story-locked female servant SSR, who are also all available on the banner. Like, even if they're not on rate up, they're available on the banner. Hence my Maeve response earlier. Plus also Enkidu, the Stolf, and Dion. So, yeah, guys, if you're aiming for people who are not named Murasaki Shikabu, good fucking luck with that. You'll have to figure that out yourself. It's literally 2 banners that rotate, like, at least every 24 hours, if not, like, every 12 hours. It's a pain in the dick. Just double-check your settings. There will be a post about this when this event is eventually announced. You can double-check who's on rate up when. And honestly, that's it. It's pretty simple. Do a story quest every day, get points and free quests with the rest of your AP. You know, focus on buying the store CEs for more points and spending your chocos to get more Valentine CEs for more points. You know, grind whatever suits you best. Get more CEs, get more drops, get more stuff. Go gadget Valentines. I'm probably going to make sure to save all my chocos until late at night when I'm not doing anything else, so I can just listen to my Valentine scenes with my headphones in, all in a row, when I'm not doing anything else. But yeah, it should be fun. I've been looking forward to this a long time. Glad I got my new phone fitted out so that I don't have to worry about it exploding my phone. And everybody wish us luck on Murasaki Shikabu. I have 373 Saint Quartz right now. Yeah, I don't think... Are there any questions from the Peanut Gallery? I'm actually pretty sure... So I'm pretty sure this is one of those events that doesn't have a map. Like, it's just gonna list the 4 quests or whatever that you can do at a time.
Okay.
So it'll be pretty simple. Do stuff, spend chocos, get stuff. I'm gonna assume Murasaki Shikabu is gonna be the shopkeep. Have fun with that, guys. I'm actually quite curious about how the story will shake out, because let me tell you, some of these story servants are wild. Like, they change every day. Like, I think for the 7th node, it's Shikabu and Hans as one of your options, and in a different one, it's, like, her, Fergus, and Shakespeare, I think? Like, they're all over the place, and I assume that ties into whatever the actual story content is. I don't know about announced, but Lucky is planning on finishing the Wanted this weekend.
Mm-hmm. It's mostly done.
Okay, so actually I should point this out. If you're trying to build your support setup, as far as I can tell, there is no event servants for this other than Shikabu. So if you have Shikabu, you should put her on. I can double check that for sure, but I think in general, you just want to have your best servants. I would go with ladies because that's on theme, but you can do dudes too. But as far as I know, it's just Shikaboo is the only servant with a specific bonus. Otherwise, just make sure to put your event CEs on and show off your Valentines CEs. Looks like that's about it. Yeah, I'm seeing CE list, points, shop. I don't see any notes about bonus servants. So yeah, you guys can go ham with your choice of servants.
Mm-hmm.
I may actually tab over to my third never used support setup, which is literally called Harem, and just go apeshit. Yeah, so that's the event. I don't think we're seeing any further questions.
Mm-hmm.
God, I hate that creepy little raccoon. That gif is so gross. The tiny hands. Get this away from me. I eat this. But yeah, that's our stuff. Hope you got all that. Remember, ditch all your chocolates except Mash, technically, because remember, those are story-related drops. I also don't believe that Mash has a new Valentine CE this year, because I believe your reward for the final quest is just a grail. And yeah, that's it. Have fun, guys. Have fun. Enjoy your new scenes that are voiced. Remember, all of them will be voiced, male and female. And have fun with all your stuff. I'm gonna have a lot of fun. And honestly, I'm okay. I was a little worried last year, but I'm okay with the fact that most of this is in surprise chocos, right?
Yeah, no, it'll be fun.
Like, I will probably spend my lock-on chocos on specific ones early, but, like, surprise is just fun. We'll have to see how everything goes. And remember, everybody, try not to pass out when you get whatever action you're looking for on these scenes.
Like, he's gonna die. He's gonna die a lot.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be really interesting. There's a lot of stuff to get in there. Okay. This will be my first time to see even some old scenes, because I've gotten some servants who are old, like through GSSR and stuff.
Oh man, I got so much to go through. Jesus.
Don't worry, Lucky. That's why they give you 222 surprise chocos.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, you will earn them very rapidly. Like it's like literally the third thing on the points ladder at 1,000 points, which, like I said, I'm pretty sure you will automatically hit the moment you get a points drop. Is your first surprise choco. Right, like, they're generous, okay? They have to make room for 200 of them. So, yeah.
Shout out to Archetype 10, who says, I literally can't avoid passing out for Tom Lancer's scene. This is correct?
True. I will also be seeing that scene again, because, yeah.
Oh god, that's right, we're going to be doing BBs and Kiara's.
Yeah, both BBs, too, because this will be the first time you can also do Summer BB, which is... Oh god, Summer BB, the first time you get Summer BB Valentine's scene is voiced. Ugh. Now.
This brings me back to CCC.
If you guys don't know why I'm already cringing, check out what Summer BB's Valentine's is, okay? Look up what her chocolate is.
Actually, I don't know.
It's a trip, Luxter. It's real fun.
Let's see here. Should be on her base page. Crap, that's it. Oh!
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, this is gonna be a trip.
Yeah, no, it's great. That's gonna be real fun to get out of a surprise choco, my dudes. But yeah, no, it'll be super interesting to see. There's a lot of fun stuff. And also, just in general, I'm how many days are left in the old Little Big Tengu? Let me check. Because JP should also be ends in about 4 days. Okay. I would expect, unless JP needs to fill space for something, they will probably also pivot to Valentine's.
Well, we got their stream coming up in a couple days?
Yeah, does anybody, off the top of my head, when does the thing happen?
I wonder if it's up on YouTube already. Hang on.
I don't think it's been posted to YouTube. That would almost assuredly, yes, be early Valentine's previews. Also, yes, Vespairr, you were actually called out at one point. But to be fair, I called you out because I was also threatening anybody who doesn't... Actually, is Vespairr listening right now? I don't know. They might not be. They're not. They'll hear this in the finished audio. The pregame is done. Also, yes, this is technically... We're talking about future stuff. Future Robyn. You can split the time codes here. Whatever this is, I don't know yet, but this is a different thing. We're trying to figure out when the JP stream is, and then... that's going to be pretty interesting. I know they had a lighter amount of servants last year since Valentine's, but let me pull up the servant list. Let's see who's going to get new Valentines this year in JP.
Oh, that's an exciting idea.
Because that should be soon.
Well, it's going to be great because we're already going to have fucking Valentines for fucking Hichigoge and Tyra.
Yeah, that's right. They just came out. They're going to get Valentines. Let's see. Odysseus was then. That was White Day. They did not add anybody new for APOC rerun, right?
Let's see here. So we're gonna get all the new summers.
We're gonna get everybody from Lost Belt, from Olympus release. Olympus Lost Belt 5 Part 2. Oh my, that's actually gonna be really interesting. That's gonna be Dioscuri. That's gonna be really weird. I bet you can do both of them, because they're twins. Also, I really want to know what they do with Cadus. how much she's going to beat you up. Actually, it'd be really interesting if they, because of the way Canis is handled, she is usually treated as female, as her original form, thanks to the power of mythology. But that would be really interesting if Canis was both, also. We'll see how they handle that one. That'll be
you're going to get a Risei, you're going to get Consort U Lancer, Vitra.
Voyager is going to be interesting. Let's see. Then, yes, there will be all the new summers. Oh, yes, that's right. I forget. I also am going to get, that's probably going to be a lock on Choco, is I'm going to see what Paisen whips up.
Let's see.
She's going to yell at me a lot. But we'll also get Summer Paisen. We'll get all our summers. Oh, God, Summer Kiara. No.
Europa was in the... No, she's fine. So, Odysseus, Ryder, Murasaki, Nemo. I bet Nemo's going to give you a little
Nemo's going to be cool.
I bet she's going to give you a chocolate sub.
Well, it might not be chocolate, too, right? Because...
Sure.
It might be it might just be a sub-model. That would be adorable. A little Nautilus model kit. I love it.
Toria Caster coming out.
That's going to be interesting. So let's see. Pickup 2 was Murasaki Ryder. Tomoe goes in. Ooh, we'll get another Abigail. That'll be interesting to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Hey! Oh, fuck. Muramasa return gift. Is it going to be just a fucking sword?
It better be.
I can't wait.
Oh, no. It's going to be a blacksmithing set.
Possibly. Okay. There was nobody new in Land of Shadows.
I'm not going to lie. I'm a little scared of an Ashia Domen return gift.
Yeah, that's also going to be another interesting thing. Speaking of chocolate, though, Ibuki. We'll probably get another set of Japanese sweets. Queen Himiko is in here. That was October. And then, that's most of them. It was actually a pretty light year. We'll get a return gift from Santa Carna. That'll be funny. It'll probably be his punching bag or something.
Boxing gloves.
Some gloves, something like that. Karna's very thoughtful as the hero of charity.
Oh, that's right. I get a Karna chocolate this year. Yeah!
Yeah, you do. Karna's return gift is actually fucking rad. That's going to be really interesting to hear him say.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. No Dukatsu, architect. No Dukatsu. I'm calling you out.
We call you out on your things. You fixed it, but we caught it. Nobukatsu will be interesting, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's most of them. Like, Van Gogh's probably going to be weird.
Oh, yeah, we're going to get a Risei, Voyager, and...
Kyoko.
Dino Wife. Kyoko. Nobukatsu is probably just going to give us...
I
hope we get a Mini Nobu. I want a Mini Nobu. Give me a Mini Nobu.
So on the one hand, just give us a Mini Nobu plush. That'd be great. So Kyokoyo can go one of two ways. One is obviously if it's late in her ascension, it can be, she just also gives you traditional Japanese sweets because that's pretty popular. But also, I really want her to just make like a chocolate cookie of her dinosaur form. Like an adorable cookie T-Rex.
Just chocolate dinosaurs? Just chocolate dinosaurs.
That would also be rad. No, like the chocolate designs are always so great. I love them. That's why it's going to pain me to have to like eat them all into probably my Prisma Cosmos or Golden Sumo or something. But now all this conversation has made me hungry, and it is almost midnight. So let's wrap up. The show's almost 3 hours raw, obviously. No, I don't know if I should yell about that too much. Nobody's really called me out on like, Omega, you said it's been like 3 hours, but it's actually been like 2.5. I thank you for not doing that. I guess most people do understand that this is edited for time a little bit.
You do mention it a lot.
Yeah, it's part of the process. And if you don't know, hey, this is your first show. Yes, I edit the audio to remove some of the noises, and also big pauses. By the way, those inhales are probably too theatrical. They probably won't get edited because they're not small.
Sometimes, hey, listen. Sometimes I need to do an audible gasp.
No, and honestly, those should stay in. But it's small little sounds that get cut out and normalized. So we hopefully don't hurt your earsies. I'm constantly wearing headphones, so I always try to be a little bit headphone conscious, and we cut out a lot of the dead air when we're like looking stuff up for like even 5 seconds at a time. We get rid of all that, clean it all up.
Well, sure, I'm looking at you. You think you're gonna stay in the show? You made some noises. You want some cheese?
I do believe he did actually sniffle into Mike at one point. Was that what we were recording or not? I don't remember.
I don't know. I think so. Oh, he's sulking in the corner. You butt. I'm gonna have to pet
Well,
him.
I don't go whole hog on the edits because unfortunately I would be editing a raw 3 hours. But yeah, But yeah, I believe that's everything in the show. Look forward to, hopefully, next week. Like, honestly, especially with the fact that our schedule is going to be a little squished, I hope they just bite the bullet and give us Valentines, like, right now. Just because I got to be real, coasting on the back half of Prisma. Fuck, most people I know are already done, and even me, I'm like, whatever. Like, I don't need a break after this part. I would really love to move into some new content, and we've got to be schmoving because we got some stuff to get out of the way. So yeah, I hope they hit us up. So hopefully we'll be able to hit you up with first impressions next week. I'll also have a new round of polls. So hey, it is the end of the month, so don't forget the usual Patreon shell if you want to join in for polls for Teach Me and Fanservant Friday and stuff. Be sure to get up with us. Do feel free to wait until the month ends though, because otherwise you may get double billed. I always try to be cautious about that and make sure people know what they're doing. Though if you sign up for a year, I don't think you'll be double billed. Hey, thoughts? And also, hopefully, did anybody ever tell us when that stream time was? Did anybody figure that out?
No.
Yeah, it's like I'm sure there is a like a JP post, right? Like there's a Japanese post about and our next stream on, but that's in Japanese somewhere.
I'm not too worried. People will fucking yell about it.
Yeah. Let us know in the comments if you know when the stream is. Otherwise, we'll know when they actually post it to YouTube because we are subbed to their YouTube channel. But hopefully that's in the not too distant future. So we should at least have some news on.
You retweeted it, so you already know this life.
Oh, which retweet?
Archimedes yelling at our
yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't know if you... Twitter is crediting it as you retweeting from me, but yeah, no, that was me. I saw it, I was like, yeep. Speaking of which, Archimedes won.
Mm-hmm.
Give me another, possibly even generic AoE SSR caster. He can be a buster. He shoots beams. Sorry. It's the hunger. It's making me cough.
Making him cough.
I'm not kidding, by the way. I'm hungry now talking about those sweets. I don't think we got any sweets in the fucking house, though. I think I got some frozen Pop-Tarts somewhere. Maybe I'll chow down on that. Anyway, as we say, it's time to wrap up. Souls. We've already told you what we will hopefully hit you up with next week. And if we don't hit you up with either of those things, I don't know, unlimited mailbag, maybe.
Unlimited mailbag.
But also, don't get your hopes up, because it's entirely possible there will be big news. Just be careful, okay? Careful of the news. Mm-hmm. And so, we will go. And remind you to like this episode if you watch it on YouTube. Drop any comments in the comment section down below, if you have any of them. We appreciate them. You can also hit us up on our Discord. That link is, as always, in the video description and on our channel page. If you're new here and haven't already, please subscribe to our channel so you can always catch our latest videos we talked about, such as future Let's Talk FGO, that wanted episode that is definitely 100% coming out. That's not like a sarcastic dig. That's the episode is definitely happening. Don't you doubt that, man. He'll do it.
I'll do what?
Do the wanted?
Oh, yeah.
No, he's doing it.
I'm doing it.
Hell, several people who are currently in this recording know Lucky's doing it because we heard him read the script. It's there. It exists. There's no Josh.
I'm literally 80% done. I just gotta finish a couple things and write some cool strats. Actually, I probably have to talk to Omega. Like, Omega, what are the cool strats for Murasaki? And he's gonna be able to, like, hit demons good. I'm like, okay.
Yeetus demonus. Arts go burr. Does she have a big battery? Then apply Golden Sumo.
Actually, that's a question. Actually, does anyone have a good list of comparing, like, NP gen rates? Because I was actually wondering about that.
That sounds like something somebody's got a spreadsheet for somewhere. I do not have one off the top of my head. Anyway, all this and more if you subscribe to our channel, CD Omega. You can also make sure to hit that bell for notifications so you always know when we post a new video. And when, eventually in April, we're able to stream again. If we stream on other platforms, you'll have to ring that bell there, though.
Ding.
You can also join our channel membership. YouTube has been yelling about how people have been growing their revenue through memberships, so consider joining us there. You get access to emotes. You get a slightly squooshed and multicolored FGO star next to your name. It's not... I forgot to make those images transparent and have been too lazy to fix them. So if you're in night mode, they do have white borders, which is just furthers my hilariously low-budget aesthetic. I'll probably fix it sometime. If Lucky or I don't do something better. Because I did kind of originally want to go with a metallic theme, but I didn't find a very fast way to do that, and I didn't want to spend 5 million hours at midnight editing in MS Paint, so I went with a hue shifting instead. But memberships. It's like $1.99 a month, you get access to stuff. Occasionally we post members-only stuff. Not a lot, but we do like to throw out previews and stuff sometimes. I did that more with streams. Maybe I'll even make sure to sneak members some extra stuff in the next coming months, you know?
Oh shit, peek at me streaming in like a minute, y'all.
Neat.
I'm gonna turn this shit on. It's playing Cuphead. We should play Cuphead one day. And yell.
Oh, one day. I definitely got a little sinking sensation in my chest when you said that. But now we could do Cuphead. Cuphead's a trip, y'all. And I don't know if either of us would be any good at Cuphead.
Well, as long as we're screaming and swearing, I'm pretty sure people would love it.
That's true. Hey, speaking of things that we scream and swear at, check out me playing the Resident Evil 8 demo on our channel. It exists. Go watch it. All right.
Yay.
We'll see you guys next week from our Let's Talk FGO. We will see you guys next time for What's Up. Obviously, that won't be live, but we'll do something. And make sure, like we said at the front of the show, to consider supporting us on Patreon. I mentioned it earlier, but I'll throw it in here. You can get access to episodes early and lots of other goodies. For as little as $1 a month or $10 a year, you can get access to voting in polls, listening to the show live, stuff like that. It's real cool. It's cool, y'all. And that's it. Buster, take us out.
Buster! Come here. Say something. Say something. I said say something. Oh, he's not saying anything.